Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's good, man. We're back again on the late night hour, the closing argument. Um, the other guys will be joining. Um, it's winter time, so everybody's at home so early. Come from work straight to your home. We work from home, you stay home. Um, you just chill until almost time to go to bed. We just want to keep the people up, those who are up, to keep them at least they engaged. But today Sunday I was watching the late U.S. President's Jimmy Carter funeral. Politicians, they are interesting, very interesting though. They had Obama and Trump sitting side by side. The two guys who hate each other. I mean, you see how they can attack each other, but they were in conversation, man. Trump and Obama, I don't know what they were talking. I was sitting there laughing. I was like, wow. So, and most of the times, when the supporters of these politicians, when they're out there fussing, taking it personal, some of them, they ruin friendship that have been established for more than decades, and they're fighting because the other person criticized their own candidate. You should learn from these things that don't take it too serious, because politicians, when you are not around, they do their talking, they do their own thing. They meet, when the cameras are on them, they attack each other. But look at Obama and Trump today. See two of them. They was at Carter's funeral. They were lecturing. But when they go on the campaign show, you think the two guys don't want to. They want to just come to fight. But suddenly today at the funeral, they were shelling. I think even Bush and somebody else, Bush and Obama, somebody were two. So don't take it too serious. Don't let them. Don't take it too serious. Obama and Trump were chilling. Who are you there? You're fussing for them. You don't take it too serious. So you think, oh, but look at Obama and Trump. Look at two of them lecturing. Yeah, but their supporters will be fighting. They won't go after each other. Same with Liberia. You see, if you get rid of, you start cussing a person, you'll ruin your friendship for decades, family and all having feud, because you criticize or comments, they criticize they criticize Boyka. You're taking it personal. But when the people meet, they chill. Don't take it serious. When you're having disagreement about policies and other ideology, you can disagree, but don't go to the extent where you will take it personal and try to make enemies of people because of that. No. All the things that people do, even us. So now we're going, like, we'll meet in person. You see, we're all chilling, drink together, eat together. You guys are not there. When Senator Didon came to America, he called me. He said, my man, let me call you before you say I came to America. I didn't call you. But on the criticize, I mean, we are enemies. No. But the supporters will take it serious. You see, the first attack, Ben got the first attack as he appeared. Lofa Jiro now launched the first attack on Ben. See, Lofa now threw launched the first missile attack on Ben.
I told you, I tired talking for your country. I tired.
Yeah. Ben said, like, brother, why you call that, bro? Somebody, other person, my friend called that, bro. He said, like, brother, make believe country. What is make believe? You think a real thing happening there? It's a joke. It's a joke. Yesterday, the truck driver hit the guy from the motorbike. The man on the truck, he tried to rescue the man. They threw him right at the truck. So I mean, it makes sense. Well, the man's dying. Rescue the man, but he said you threw him right at the truck. The truck that man, the driver already level. The driver gone, but a truck you want to damage the truck. The thing, save the human life first. The human life, you save it. Save the human life. So it's be by yourself. Don't be personal. Your family is good. Yourself good. Take care of your health.
Please keep talking for other me. Piggy. I just Costa. I'm not talking no more time.
Because I get up 5 o'clock in the morning.
3 o'clock in the morning. I need to vote himself.
On Liberia, yeah, on
3 o'clock in the morning. No, it's a worker in the country for 3 o'clock in the morning for 3,
you get
4,
all you see
5
there
years.
by the time you finish the show, after about 12 o'clock, you call him, he say, man, I'm sleepy. You come back to bed and
3,
say,
4, 5 years. That boy did that thing for. That boy did that thing for 3, 4, 5 today. For some of the people who benefited from what our boy did. For some of them to be insulting him and cursing him. That the country is demonstrated that serious country there. I beg you, yeah. Look, Tommy, I'm saying it. What you say? What Duke say? Duke on. I see he's firing every day.
What Duke? I want
who got drinks today? Actually, I need to find one. I need to find a glass, man. I need to open a bottle of
Duke man.
You see my wife around. What she get me?
Duke man firing.
Yeah. I need to get a shot of my tequila, my Azul tequila.
But what a Jim John for Pee Wee?
I will mail it to my man. You know we got snow here tomorrow, so it's crazy.
My son ain't promised me one too.
I just send you a thing. Send your address.
You got my job, man.
Oh yeah. I got your address. Yeah, that Pee Wee address. But Pee Wee send me your address. Yeah. So no, I'm not in Liberia. I might be going to Liberia very soon. I gotta go check on my house, man.
I'm going March.
I gotta go check on my house. Yeah, my man, I mean, myself about that country there, they're making people arguing. Some of the people then who making 1 year before the election, Jeremiah Kun was causing Joe Burger. 1 year before the election.
Oh.
6 months before the election, Jeremiah Kun, the video, what that video when he said Joe Burger will wear dapper. By the time the man became vice presidential candidate, they start everybody who used to abuse him. Everybody start praising him. All the United Party start praising him. All the institutions start cursing him. And the country tell me say that brother like the late night after hour, they say late night. What Lofa say called late night fire.
Well, you get a show. You don't want to start a show. You say what?
No, I call it after hour. But I see Lofa save it as a late night fire. So I like that late night fire name. But like I said, Tommy, I have made up my mind. I'm no longer, but it's always been part of me. I don't burn bridges. Right?
Oh yeah, I know that's true.
But I would say this notion of me getting all personal and worked up, I'm not doing that shit. I was about to say I'm not doing that shit no more. But
after hour now, so
after hour we can talk. We can talk. Yeah, I say I let Lofa on the knee. I said after hour, but I let what Lofa call it? Late night fire.
Late night
fire. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, send the link to Duke.
Oh yeah, I'm about to bring. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned. I'm going to bring. Let me bring him.
I see. I want you to contact a Fogi.
No, but I will hit it hard to next more. Yeah.
When it belly. Then you get ready.
I just see Ben.
That's my man.
Ben, look, I just see Ben do go Labrador. I think went about Emery went about 4-5 times last year to get a bag on his shoulder, on his back. I see, that boss ain't working hard.
I am not going to burn no more bridges. The Liberian people, they won't go up, they won't come down, they will elect who they want elect.
Wow.
And then the teacher. And then wherever they will make, my man, they say when they shoe on your foot, it can pinch you, you don't want to feel it. When something happening to me, I don't want to go through it, right? Exactly. The other day I was sitting down going through my Facebook page, Tommy. I was reading comments, some of the people who were insulting me. I hearing and crying today. And I'm looking at these people, I'm like, oh, and Ben, you this, and you saw the video on Spoon TV in the market. People, man. Yeah. Look, I see the widow poor you saw abuse. Huh? Listen, I got problem with having disagreement. Lofa and myself had disagreements. We went, but there was never a point where we
insulted each other.
And when I see, look, I was reading those comments today. See I haven't remembered the last. Nobody didn't call me Kekura in a long time. I missed that name. I actually do miss that name. Nobody can call me corrupt. Nobody can call me I stole money. Oh Ben, you stole the Liberian people money, and you this, and you. And to see them talking the way they talk. Yeah, do get there. You know, I'm tired.
And he will come on the show after 5 shots of tequila. He drink water. Actually, like he drink.
Let me go get my son. Let me go get my son. Yeah, I mean, you know why I enjoyed that. Why I enjoyed that one. I would not lie. I enjoyed do, but do what did he? He say they were talking about the LUT, right? I'm telling you, follow.
Oh yeah.
Have you followed your post? I mean, some of them you can't tell them nothing. That Fresca picking, he the other one I'm waiting for. That Jusu Camara picking. That's sitting on the report.
Oh,
that one used to what you know. He's a coming. I get a wrench so because I supporting Joseph Boyka. So now he get job at the port. I don't see him in khaki any more protest new. All his soup thing that he used to do, I see him doing it no more. So I mean, all the problems finishing in Liberia.
Yeah,
because he's sitting under the port. That the country you look at me and tell me say, I'm gonna take. Thank you, brother, for the 5,000 row. What kind of meaning?
But Ben, they will do right. During the election, do her audit the time, but do he target was just on the party. We were targeting it. He attacked you out. But to my surprise, when he turned, I thought he would have still neutral if the way you play, either you are still neutral. But when he took a side and said he's right, I expect him I had it right. And he took a side, then I see he somersaulted. He went to go after CDC now. You see, were in power. You should go after them, right? Because they wanted them from power, but you are going after the people who wanted CDC from power. That we are going after. But then when it turns, to endorse the very people you're attacking. Then you start hitting CDC now. CDC power you're attacking CDC now. They are power. So I said, they got confused me.
First and foremost, I see the chairman here tonight.
I'm gonna show you. And see that one over there attend a witchcraft. Y'all can be talking your labyrinth.
Ben became a witchcraft overnight.
I saw today having it all with Daniel Sando Apple.
Ben,
I cut it off.
Daniel did it the rapper.
And you know what?
Daniel did it the rapper.
And you know what? Daniel tree. You know we treat Daniel.
The boy told me Daniel tell rapper he went after rapper ski. Rapper were off.
Then when you come for the day.
He said, I'm not talking about coaching. I'm talking about coaching.
But you know what? Back to what Tomlin said. Look, let me say this. The one person that really understands me it is Lofa. Mm-hmm. And regardless of what, we have our different views. But I think Lofa knows me, and and sometimes people get it. It's funny you said that. The first I've always said this throughout. Liberian politics for me is not to make a name for myself get gains. I would say on the show, I know other people say I was saying, I can't make the kind of sacrifice to go work in Liberia. I don't want no appointment. I don't need it. It's too costly for me, not affordable. And I'm not gonna lie about it, it's the fact, right? But I genuinely cared about the country. You understand me? So when we start on this show here, I went after Unity Party. I still stand the same. If it were repeat the same, I would still do the same thing. Why? When I went to Liberia the first time, I knew where I was a goner. I said it, people didn't listen. I knew. I took my time to walk around. I knew it was going to be the end of where CDC was not going to get reelected. But the fight was not against CDC because CDC already made the case. CDC made its errors. Decided why would I attack CDC? Because I knew it was done. But I felt like we're in an election that there were two political parties. And one of the parties that had that edge was the Unity Party. In addition to that, I felt that the Unity Party was a system political party. And I thought perhaps, that was a competition. I really believe that the Liberian people had made their mind. They were not going to vote George Weah, but between the two opposition parties were either going to be the ANC or the Unity Party. So that was the strategy coming in, right? But notwithstanding, I do things differently. No endorsement and everything, I did it. We met the country to where they wanted to be, and we made our decisions. Now, afterward, if Tomlin said he worked out, he attacked the CDC. No, and I still see it in this form. And using that logic, and I said it again, we'll still criticize, we'll still do what we want to do. Ben said something. I have learned something throughout this election. The Liberian people just don't get it.
They don't.
Very
They
good.
don't get it,
Thank
right? The Liberian people just don't get it. So what I think about the most, do I exert, because it really pains me since 2017, man, we've been here constantly going through. Do I really want to exert the same energy that I did? No, I don't want to. So I call myself independent. I will say the things I want to say and I will direct it. I think that every ruling political party, the performance should be indication of where the country is. But the same people again, like you said, something, you see the young man, the reason why I got on the Soup thing, Soup been pissing me off for a long time. But the same way these guys started with Cummings and people overlook it, it's the same thing that we see. This kid write a nasty post about Charlene Bromsky. I don't know.
Can you imagine?
It was so disrespectful. You understand me? And I thought, Tommy, I'm like,
somebody who can be your mentor.
Exactly.
Somebody who can guide you.
Yeah. But you see the disrespect, though. The same thing with the other one. Name I'm not gonna call because of Wisman. I told him, publicly speaking, select any platform, show up there. Let's express ourselves in front of people and let's see. I don't like wasting my time, but I just want to. A man like that, as old as he is, you have not even started a career. Let me be nasty and say it. You have not started a career. The only thing you try out for is writing rubbish that people who you've managed to manipulate will come and celebrate the mediocrity in that, and you become condescending to people who surpass you in every level. Is that the country we're looking forward to? And that has been my case. But that's what a country is, man. That's why somebody say, hey, you had an energy, you want kind of sure. My man, I lied to you. I can't. I'm a passionate talker. I can't find the energy. That's the thing about it. What am I going to say that we haven't said before?
Thank you.
I'm a kind of start causing the people ain't going. Even I say it today, if you had an election again, I will say this again. The same two political parties might be out of loggerhead again, and they will do what they want to do. Liberians just don't get it. It's the fact.
But Duke, here's my point though. Here's my disagreement with that position, right? This is where I want to disagree, right? If we are to make that position statement that okay, the people themselves cannot rationalize. Let me not say rationalize. They have decided, okay, to go against themselves. At what point do we change the trajectory of things? Because it appears to me that you guys you're waving your flag. You're like, we're done.
No.
Then where do we start?
Yeah. You're right. Let me restate.
I'm
not waving my flag, but I think what it is, right? And look, there are people that are highly I would say this. I like politics. I engage in politics.
Right.
But I'm not that kind of person who's 100% engulfed in the politics like
politics. Right.
The reason why I said that though, and maybe people will change their mind, but I'm just saying something and I'm being truthful here, right? It gets really exhausting. It gets tiring.
I agree.
The same things what were criticizing yesterday, other people are celebrating it, right? We're here today again, making the same arguments, right? Cummings was not a Liberian citizen, and he was a foreigner. Duke was a foreigner. Lo-Fi got series, he talks and stuff. He's not acceptable. He's an American citizen. Suddenly now it's the other way. You get what I'm saying? So then again, what really hurt me, and I will say this personally, I don't think Liberians like good people.
I agree.
No, let me tell you this, bro. In a society, you know what, let me tell you, in a society wherein if people really believe it's about a country, and I don't sing praises or anything, but I just have to say it. If people look at Duke, if you look at Lo-Fi, regardless of what the political, our political affiliations are, regardless of that,
right?
And we went through election, even we lost the election. Some people say, you know what? Those people may not have won the election, but I respect their efforts, right? But the same people start looking at you like you're the problem, and then to glorify the people who are the problem. So, I mean, that's the thing about it, though. At one point in time, so I don't want to be savior for nobody, right? And I just want to be who I need to be and continue to thrive on that path. I don't support no political party. I don't right now. I'm just in the middle, just looking at things as it is. But it's a
so, Duke, let me ask this question, right? And Tamale, I'm not hosting your show. You're hosting your show, but I just want to ask this question, right? Hopefully, it can kind of push the conversation. And both there, you guys can comment on this. At this point, considering where we find ourselves today.
Mhm.
If you were to make that decision, if you were asked to make that decision again, would you?
Lofa,
Yeah.
are you talking to the good-looking Ben or the other one?
Yo, man, chill. Y'all go figure that part out.
You ask
Well,
instead of decision what? The second round.
if you were asked, okay, so you have CDC and UP.
Yeah.
Considering where we find ourselves today, with everything that is happening,
Yeah.
will you reconsider the decision that you made to support in the second round to
Yeah.
support the UP as compared to the city? That's my question. That's why I want to ask.
Perfect. Too. Please, y'all give me a chance. I will answer that question. There's one thing I want to address on this PFOA thing. I think is important, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
If that situation played itself, I would do it. I wouldn't change it. You know why? Okay. We gave the people options. My option was Alexander Cummings. I went to Liberia. Emmerich and myself travel hours away to go stay in line to vote for several hours. We never got beat up. Emmerich, please publish that June footage. We almost got killed. I mean, I'm telling you, the people attacked us at the polling station in Bond County. That thing was not easy. The police had to rescue us and be able to get in our car to leave the polling station because they said we're there to influence voters. Because when there, I myself thinking fact I just started buying food and drove everybody on the line and saw the people felt so high. The king, Emmerich, the guy came with his book. It was so funny. Emmerich got that June footage and stuff, right? So look, listen, so the people didn't vote for the candidate that we failed. We were left with option. Me, I'm not going to stay neutral. Other people cool, but I still believe, right, that regardless of what the situation at that time, I still believe that boycott was the right option to go with. Right now, with all that is happening, we'll say that there are bad things, but there's some good things, the things that it can improve on. Time will tell when they get to that part. Now, the second thing about the PFOA, this is why I said there's something wrong with the brains of our people, and the reason why some of us says it makes sense. So you see CDCS now, do talk about PFOA, why he talking. The point here is, though, the same people who started and endorsed the ineptitude or something to endorse and kept silent about the same corruption today, wants to bring about PL480 and talk about, look, we said PL480. We talk about other corruption. We talk about all the things that was happening. What happened, Benjamin Jonah? On election day, they voted for the same two political parties. I don't want who I voted for. I voted for Cummings. You understand me? I voted. You went to the polling station. You overwhelmingly took two of the sister political parties in the second round. It's not my fault. That's not my fault. That's your business. Do whatever you want to do with the information we provide. But if you feel now that Georgia didn't win election, you need a party won, you want to say, why you criticize? And I'm here to fight your proxy war. Go take it up. You understand me? That's the thing here. You want people to fight, like Ben said, they're good users. They know they can fight. They're struggling to defend themselves. So they want other people like us to come and join them in the fight. No, I want to do it. Y'all go deal with your stuff. When the Liberian people ready, they said we want to do something different, then we'll play our part. Whatever you want to call me, that's up to you. Liberian paying my bills. If I need money today, Emma will give it to me, right? If I did anything, I'm fine with it. I don't need it, but I feel very comfortable in my lane and will speak when necessary.
Emma, send me small dinner.
Well, man,
No, I think
connection back.
We need money, we can call you.
no, I don't know what you guys are, but I think to a point, I myself too, I sometimes to disagree with Duke, but I think we are at a place where people pick sides, right, in the second round. And for me, I am not here to chastise anyone for picking his or her side, and that's just me. I'm very, very tolerant. But looking at the picture, when you see your replacement, right, you expect a whole lot better. When you're a replacement, that's how I see it. So the choice was made by the people, not convincingly. I would say not convincingly. So if you want to put CDC aside or you want to keep them quiet, you do what's right. I think that's the only mandate UP has. If UP can do what's right and be able to perform, the whole issue of George Minor, we are coming back, will be something that will not be heard all around the place. And I think they are the ones really bringing him alive. They are the ones making the people to be reminded that he's a good leader still. And we know his performance was poor. So UP, the onus is on UP to be able to perform. if they can be, there can be a contrast between UP and UP's performance and CDC's performance, I will tell you this: nobody will be talking about George Weah, the comeback of George Weah. Nobody will be talking about it. And I don't think it's something that we should be talking. But it's our politics again. My whole concept when it comes to our politics, it got nothing to do with what's happening with our people. I will have my views, but overwhelmingly, if the people are in favor of you and they want you, I have no qualms. I have no issues with it. So I keep saying, 2029, there will be two things that are going to be at play. And I'm very, very upfront about it. We're going to make some of the decisions based on the trend, the direction, based on the momentum. We're going to make some harsh decisions to know that you either join. If that's the case, where we have come to a two political party system or so, we would make a decision of seeing how we can influence the change from within, one of the two. All right. We have to sit and be able to look at the options. Or if there's a third lane, if Liberians are serious to know that CDC and UP, they have failed for over 20 years, let's take a different route and we'll see the numbers. We'll see getting closer to 2029. We'll see if there will be a third lane. We'll see that based on what the opposition going to do. If they're going to attract more people, they will say, okay, they will remain in our lane and be able to ride with the third wheel. Other than that, we're going to see whether we can be with either UP. If that what Liberians want, we'll see whether we're going to be with UP or CDC. And I'm not careful. I'm not trying to be careful. I'm not trying to be politically correct when I'm saying it. I'm a number person. I see the numbers, and I know what we are headed to. So I will let you go, Ben, because I know
what do you? So let me ask you a question, Emery. You're a numbers guy. Do you, by any, and anybody can maybe take a stab after you, do you by any stretch of the imagination think that a third lane is viable?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And why you say so?
It starts now. If you look at people that have not voted, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what Obama did, people like the young people that new voters, I don't think the opposition has done well in being able to tap into that. I don't think so. We haven't. So building a grassroots, the third link can start to build a grassroots now, to build a solid grassroots. And it starts now. To build a grassroots of 150, 200,000 people in our country, it's easy. Because if you look at the age of the young ones now, 14, 15, you can start to deal with them. You can start to build around them, to build viable programs that they can own, that they can be a part of, that they can be able to grow within that system, that structure. That's how you build. You don't go after people that are already with UP, committed people with UP and CDC. But we still have young people out there that you can put resources and have different programs where they can be a part of. That as soon as 2029 or before 2029, they are already a part of a system that's been working for them over the years, that they can believe in, they can have the believability in, and they can be able to own up to and be able to take with them by 2029. You're going to have so much confidence in those people that you know that since they are part of that process, they are part of that grassroots, they own it, they won't want to relinquish that. And that's how you build a grassroots. So my thing, when you start to build a grassroots now, look at the younger ones, people that have not voted, people that are in junior high school, people that will be voting 2029, and see how you can tap into them and see how you can put resources into their growth, into their education, into their development.
Ben, you want to come in?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Duke, yeah, come in.
You know, I was something that, but you know, they said I'm not sure you're looking at the comments and stuff, and that post actually flashes across the screen. And you know, Emery is my cousin, so he knows me very well. You know, one of the things, and this has been something consistent I have to deal with, and when you're in a public space, you have to. So there are people who think that, you know, there was an abrupt decision to support the Unity Party. That means that I was already internally working with the Unity Party. That's the funniest thing, because my cousin and myself just laugh at that one. No, not at all. You know, look, let's stop the unnecessary nonsense. I would say this, though. If there any politician, any political party that can say that Duke ever sat in a room and he collected money for support, please put it out there. It was just based upon conviction of what I believe in. Okay, so let's not even say that foolishly. Now, if you're upset because you thought that I didn't go in a certain way for you, well, that's your business. But I made my decision. We're done with that. Second thing on, that kind of, third option ban. Man, I thought we had the third option in the last election, and fairly speaking, so we can listening. We can still do that, and I hope it is who I think it is, right? In terms of Mr. Comics. Now, I have to be very honest, and I will be the first to say I think some of the things that we heard, we should have paid attention to, and we didn't do a good job at actually recognizing that, and that's on me as well. But Liberia is a very dangerous political landscape, and if that has to be a viable option, there has to be this willingness to see and do things differently. Because listen, you're in political structures with people who have their own goals. Some people are there to support you. Some people are there to have, their own different agenda, right? But I think there has to be this serious commitment about coming with a vision. Like Emery said, there has to be a target base. You can do that. You can flip the vote. You can get a base. You have to work for it, right? And I think some of the errors of the past that we had some good ideas and good things we were doing. But the politics got in the middle of it, and I think it stalled certain things because certain people felt like others were stepping over it. But maybe, hopefully, by that time, there is. But I'm really, Ben. I'm not sure if you probably get this feeling, man. But it's one of those things where it is the best thing to do. But then with everything that has happened in the country, then your mind just makes you think like, look, man. I mean, the way the country it is, I'm not sure if these people have learned a lesson yet. So possible third option, hopefully it is, but it's left with the people again, man. And that's just my biggest concern right now.
Mm-hmm. My thought, and with Dominic coming after, I saw Winfrey Russell, but then he just dropped off. Hopefully he will join us. But my thought is, I'm not as optimistic as Emmerich. I don't think. And I may be totally wrong, totally. And I just want to say for the record, I may be 100% wrong that listen, a third lane will spark out, and a revolution will happen in Liberia, and we will see that middle forming the alliance and peeling off people from both UP and CDC. The reason I'm not optimistic is because to be able to consolidate a third lane, you're simply going to need to consolidate all these different egos that are outside of the UP and the CDC, right? And I say egos deliberately because I'm still trying to figure out. You have Cummings, you have Moniba, I'm talking about the people who ran in the last election, right? Cummings, Moniba, Gonglo, Sarah Beslow Yanti, who was there until she became Minister of Foreign Affairs, because I know Mr. Cummings and Moniba they were working on something, I think, after the second round to say that they were going to challenge the credibility of the election. And the reason I bring that up specifically is because you saw what somebody like Sarah Beslow Yanti did, right? Sarah Beslow Yanti used that opportunity to get her leverage and become Minister of Foreign Affairs. You very well know that Sarah Beslow Yanti is no longer in the third lane. She's now in the UP lane, right? Because clearly that's where her alliance will look. And so that's what I'm saying, guys. I don't know. And again, I may be totally wrong. And then I go to the people, like Duke said. I don't know if I think Liberians genuinely have a love affair with UP and CDC. I think they have. They literally, I think they have made up their mind that these two political institutions are going to run the country. And if you are from outside, you either join or associate with one of them and find a way. That's my thought process. My top priority because of the way they have consistently voted in the last couple of election cycles. They have consistently given these at the presidential level. They've consistently given these two political parties roughly 80% of the vote, roughly or a little bit more. 80% of all the votes of registered voters either vote CDC or UP, and then you leave the other 20-something or 15% with the other parties. So I really do believe that maybe the time has come for us to start to look ourselves in the mirror and stop trying to expect something that we know that's not there. I don't think Liberians, Mr. Cummings said something to me once. I don't know if he said this publicly, but one time we were having a conversation, and he said to me, he said, Ben, you guys sometimes, and he said, we all sometimes are a little hard on Liberians, but I have news for you, right? Many Liberians don't know what good looks like. A majority of the country don't know what good looks like. So if you don't know what good looks like, how do you aspire to good? How do you aspire to want to do? If the child in the village has never switched on a television, how do you expect that child to know what is Netflix? It's not possible. They've never had that opportunity. And that is the reality of our country. And so I believe that maybe, and again, I stand to be corrected, I may be wrong, but I believe that maybe we all may just, and we keep saying after every election cycle, we'll make that determination, right? We said in 2023, then 2023 is a pivotal moment. Now hearing us saying 2029 is a pivotal moment, right? After 2029, we'll move on to the next one and say it's a pivotal moment. I want to believe that maybe we may just have to swallow this pill and say, you know what? If we want to get in the governance structure, we may have to consider either one of these parties to, if not to join it, but to affiliate with it, get into the system, and then begin to start to move the needle from within. That's just my initial thought.
Okay, Ben, let me just weigh in. Good to see you, Winfred. Good to see you. Happy New Year again.
Yeah. It's good to see you.
What's up, guys, man? Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everybody, man.
I was listening to Duke and Emmerich earlier. I'll be honest with you guys. I've said it into some of my friends already, Ben, and I've said it. Look, right now, as we speak, the UP is in power now. The guys know that their fight will be stopping CDC from taking power. They feel that CDC will come with vengeance and will come out to see how they have been treated. And I said in a chat room last week, the margin that CDC, the last election, that the margin of decided the last election, if it happens in UP case, trust me, UP will not give it like how CDC gave it. They will not do that. That's the first thing. So now, these guys are consolidating. Right now, what everybody should fear, if Kun, Sir Joseph, Thomas Fala, Nukwe, Abachie, Prince Moi, if these guys get together and they hold together and say, look, we are going to go one side. You're talking about Nimba, talking about Bong, talking about Magibi, Monserrato. And then number two, they have position. They have access to the national's wealth. So don't underestimate they have influence. They are very popular people. If they hold together and say they don't want team, and that means if Baga is not going to run, I know Baga will run if he's still strong. He will run still. If that happens, don't forget they will come to be a force to reckon with. Now I heard Emery talking about we're talking about the Terling. If anybody wants to think about Terling, a time you say you're waiting for 2028, 29, it's a joke. You better start this year. Start 2025. If I was telling must survive, that's why I admire people them. People them already started a movement. The movement seems to be very strong. And if they continue that, they're launching in March, they'll be launching the movement. The Terling movement will be launched in March. If that happens, they are in serious business.
Tell me.
But what's going to happen? The guys, what they're going to do right now, UP now, they're going to infiltrate CDC. They will try that was their goal. Infiltrate CDC, cause confusion among CDC, and say, okay, yes, because they are our only threat, cause confusion amongst them, and bring some of the members down, come on their side. So if we're serious, if Liberian people are serious, they want to change between CDC and UP, they better start their tailing now. You're waiting for 2028, 2029, You are joking. We are still Liberian politics since Charles Samuel Doe. We know how it plays out. You're waiting for the 2 years election. It's a joke. And if just imagine now, the people are doing poll in Liberia, they're doing just the guys going in the streets, and the people are saying just we are. Just in Monrovia area, little sample, but just doing just we are. They're not even calling anybody else name again. So you think and lastly, before I end, if a telling must survive, they better either pray that George Weah is not running. If Weah is running, that telling they forget it. They have a problem. If Weah is not running, that telling better seek his support, because you if he supports you, you have a chance of having a shot at your goal.
Dominic, you were just on the take votes, but I'll tell you, the taste, right, that led to that CDC wave, they've lost it. They just lost too many strong men.
I don't think
I just agree.
I mean, we can disagree. I'm saying that. I said it. Well, listen.
But listen. Do give me 30 seconds. Go
ahead.
Don't forget, Rep. George Weah is just like I see Trump in America. George Weah got his base. George Weah got the people called the Weahians. These are people that just love him naturally. Whether he dance, make a song, they didn't care. They love him. Okay, he got that base. I don't see like so far. George Weah got that base. I don't see no politician that got that base in Liberia. That Weahian base. I don't see anybody that got it. Now then, he gets CDCians too, who just love him too. So he got his base. I don't care what happened. People will vote for him. Come, what may.
But Timberlake, let's agree that he has his base, right?
Let
us agree that he has his
base. Yeah. So I think I would tend to agree with the other Ben. They're not looking good, Ben. They're trying to do a little bit, but my disagreement here is that I think we keep going. They're telling it's always going for the same people. There are a lot of people in Liberia that haven't been reached. The thing is that the investment into those people is what is lacking, and nobody is willing to make that sacrifice. And what Tomlin said, that if you really want to hit that telling, you can do it now. You can start now and do it. If you start getting 14 years old kids, getting them to school, getting people basic necessity things like copybooks, taking care of basic things and educating them. But in the next 4 or 5 years, you can get 150,000 solid votes. You can get it in Liberia. But all of the measures are all in Monrovia. And that's why we keep going around the same CDC people, the same unit party people. And that's why they keep lying to us. You know how much money the poor stole for us? Somebody that I gave money to go vote for Cummings is wearing Baka t-shirt.
So you see, then you making that
the wrong thing. I think Ben, let me add on, right? What Ben is saying, we keep what's happening. We're not using data in our country, and we overlook data. We overlook it. Ben, the number of people that we have not reached to jumpstart, to create a grassroots, we have significant number of people that are not even part of CDC and UP. If you look at our voter registration, the turnout very, very low, very low. So we have to use data, first of all, to reach, like Ben is saying, sustainable programs to build grassroots, right? Programs that they can own, they can become a part of. It's easy to build a grassroots once you have the resources to do it. Resources in terms of it can be so many different projects. Farming, it can be micro loan to business people in the rural areas. It can be supporting programs at schools. All of those things going to build a solid grassroots movement for you. So we cannot overlook and just reduce the conversation to just CDC and UP. The opposition must be sophisticated and understand the data, know the data, and know where to go, because there are places that politicians don't even go in Liberia. So it's up to people within the opposition that want to build a grassroots from scratch to know where to go based on the data. and I think it's doable. I'm saying it's doable based on what I know. How well you see when Obama ran the first time, right? Some in America, the enthusiasm, that spirit, he went to places that politicians had never ever been, and tapped
So,
into those.
but Emmerich,
Yeah.
not to call you off. So Winfred and Pee Wee can come in because they haven't said anything. Who is going to be that Obama in Liberia?
But that's
Because what you and the thing we keep missing, that all this thing we're talking about, there must be an arrowhead. There must be a leader who the people will say, we are inspired by this person. We like what you're saying. For some reason you saw a whole bunch. You saw a whole troop of new voters vote for George Weah in the last election. These are kids who never saw him play football. They never did. Right?
Right.
In fact, I think that it was because of that influx of new voters that we got the kind of votes he got in Monserrato.
But Ben, we overlooked too the team, the people that we had around him too. We also overlooked those people. We also overlooked Malou. We overlooked a lot of people too.
So no, we're not overlooking it. What I'm saying is, who's going to be that leader that you talk about, the Obama or wherever the person is, right? Who's going to pick up this mentor and who's going to make this investment that you were talking about?
Man, come on, man. If we serious that election should end the first round, you need to pass.
Yeah,
but serious alone.
I think the point
that Ben, okay?
I think
that are smarter at the game. That's the thing about it. That election should have been the first round solid win by the Unity Party.
That's not true, Pee-wee.
Let's not use outrageous miracles here as if there was some kind of tie race. It was never a tie race.
We disagree on that. We disagree on that.
No, but looking at the numbers,
dude, they're not possible.
No, it's not possible.
This thing that everybody think, this thing that people say CDC cheated. I don't understand how CDC would cheat in the first round and then allow themselves to get beaten in the second round. I don't understand how they would do it.
But then you understand why the votes are so close in the second round. You can't comprehend that, but you comprehend why it was close.
This is my point, right? Ben, which one of the opposition, right, ever used a data effectively in Liberia? Ben, let's be realistic.
I agree.
None of us.
Yeah.
None of us. And that's the reason why these things are happening.
I thought Cummins did. Cummins didn't. I thought the ANC folks did.
There was no real
I don't think so. I don't think so.
From the people line.
I don't think so. So I would give other people a chance to talk. I would give.
The demographic of the voters we have in our society don't believe.
So Emery, I beg you, let Winfred also come in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let him come in.
You can start around.
Right.
Winfred.
Well, I think I think because of the way things are going now, people are so disillusioned and so disenchanted with the way things are, and the expectations were so high, and that's one of the reasons why I think it was Amara Connor who tried to forewarn a lot of folks, say, look, we had to try to manage the expectation. I think the people's expectations were just through the roof. Based on what they had experienced in the last 6 years or so. So they were looking forward to a sea change coming. Unfortunately, that was not the case. However, I don't think that, and I've seen a lot of folks looked at what happened in America with the election of Donald Trump. And seeing what that this is some sort of harbinger of what's going to happen in 2029, and it gives some hope that somehow George Weah is going to come back, and people would rally around him, and they want him there. I mean, the year now, people are disillusioned, they're disappointed, but I don't agree that this would be a shoe-in for George Weah, that the CDC. Now, CDC is a force to reckon with. I mean, it has a huge base of folks. Now, if whoever CDC carries, you know, that person would like to have a really good chance. But if they decided to go back and use the same playbook of bringing Josh Weah in, I think they will be shockingly surprised that they will get shellacked big
Yeah.
time in 2029.
And you see, Wilfred, I'm glad you said that. If I can just expand, because that's what I was getting at. You said it brilliantly. CDC has to now recreate the message. Remember, and Pee Wee will probably side with me on this. CDC was known as the downtrodden, the masses party. That reference was because it connected to those, bread and butter issue we see in Liberia that was impacting the poor people, the ordinary people. When we took over, he didn't solve those issues. You understand me? How do you go back with that message to tell the people that we hear again? It's going to be difficult. If you ask me, they have to birth a new identity with somebody else that can be able to preach
exactly
that differently than anybody else. And that's what I'm saying. He has the best. He has a little bit of structure, but that's not good enough because he lost a lot of people. So you need somebody with the right message that can be appealing to other people and create this coalition, this collaboration of people who say, you know what? I respect you. I respect this person. Okay, we can go with that. And I think if he does that, if the party goes about doing it, right, then there's a possibility. But if you fool and say, oh, let's go with Josh Weah again, nothing personal against Josh Weah, I'm telling you, you're not going to beat the Unity Party with that kind of message. And that's just all I'm saying. Because what distinguishes you from that? Unity Party, and let me say this one more thing, Ben, right? Regardless of what we say here, right, there's still this open wounds for a lot of people who still think that CDC did so much worse than the Unity Party. CDCians in the majority would disagree and say that, but the average Liberian who voted for boycott has something that turned them off about CDC. You're telling me that those people will say, you know what? Oh, because boycott doesn't want to vote for Weah. And I think to Emmerich's point, that third option may not be a third political party standing on its own. It could be an opportunity for those who are in the hierarchy with CDC and say, you know what? There's this person outside here that we see that's got that factor. We have this. Let's reach to this person and see if we can create a new identity to be able to present a new message. Just my suggestion.
I mean, that new identity, I see it that Duke has been, at least as of now. Okay, if you ask me, I think Cummings. If they were to bring Mr. Cummings on, I
want Pee Wee to come in, but I will throw this in for Pee Wee to come in.
Let me. Unfortunately, my Lofa brother, I would disagree with you.
Pee Wee, you hear me?
Yeah, Ben.
Okay, good. I thought
yes. Duke, unfortunately, I would disagree with you on this one. I'm not in agreement with you on this. On a serious note, and I hate to say this, currently Cummings is telling folks that he will not come back to the races. Liberian people raise money for him to contest. That's one of the things we hear behind the scene. But I think the political obituary of Cummings has already been read in terms of his past performance in the elections. It's going to be until something revolutionary to unfold in the country to rebirth the chances of Cummings. Now, George, we are outside of the CDC now. CDC is done.
That's what I was about to say.
George, we are outside
I
of the
don't
CDC.
understand what you're talking about.
That is not a possibility nowhere whatsoever.
He is the CDC.
And that's where probably the tailing will come from. If there's no George, we are in the CDC. Now we're going to be having a new face, purposes that are going to spring up to be the next president of our country. There's no way whatsoever. I've sat in almost all of the major cities in the 15 counties or towns, villages, spoke to people, even where we are is not popular. He started getting some steam in recent past elections. The young people in Lofa, they move, and even Lofa County, he got some support. Most of his vote came from the young people, if you will. Do you know this? Even in your own FOIA and the rest of that, the guys are very on the most serious note. But I'm going to say something first. Our own brother Emery said that Emery said that the voter registration process in our country was very, 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 very low. Unfortunately, that is totally inaccurate. Emery, we have a population of almost 5 million people. We have 2.4 million registered voters. Then you say very, very low. The first time in the history of Liberia, the NEC announced that this is the first time the voter registration process was very impressive in the history of Liberia. So let me give you the information. Probably you didn't check the record well to say very, very low. It's the very first time we've gone this level. 2+ million people registered to vote with 5 million population. So you
And,
do the math.
and how many eligible voters did you
But that's
have?
what I'm
though?
saying. When you're comparing now, we want to bring statistics. Good question. Let me give him a chance. Good question.
Yeah.
How
so,
many do we have?
So what? I said 2.3 plus million people voted eligible to vote.
No, you
Now,
said
if you-
2.3 plus.
No.
No.
The eligible voters are different from the registered
For the
voters.
registered voter.
Yes, but I want to come to that. But to come out and just say we're very, very low, that's inaccurate. That's why
Because I'm looking at how many eligible voters we have in the
Yeah,
country.
exactly.
That's why I base my.
I want to go
yeah.
to that now. But the numbers that came from NEC and past time, it was a very impressive number in terms of this time around the voting population we got. Right, we need to check the numbers and check the other side. But the most important aspect is with the tailing we've been trying to discuss. And the tailing will actually come out, and we will say this time to time, Ben, and I agree. That's what many people are saying. There's still a chance. Duke, you have to agree with this. Now, the only reason that would stop former President Weah, coming back to stand on very major ground in this process, is for Joseph Boakai to exceptionally perform, right? And it didn't happen in this year. I don't see us moving. Start changing next year. And then move something very, very major happen for in the country. The coastal highway is done. The road to Lofa is done. The road to the Saudian border is done. Then you start to change the basic process in Monrovia in terms of the bread and butter issue. Then it will be very difficult. Then even if Boakai is not contesting, then there's a probability and possibility of Kun coming to the presidency. That's the process there. But in the absence of that, if the trend was to continue in the kind of a line we're seeing currently. And that's one of the reasons why we're having the conversation. And the conversation may not just be a part of what is going to happen in terms of who's going to come and who play this role. Because if we're even trying to find the means for Cummings to come back, we have to see the reality that Cummings is one electable. The electability is what we want to focus on first and foremost. We're not the people always contesting elections. 2029 is going to be a third presidential election, basically.
I mean, third time the charm, is.
That's what I'm saying.
How many times did George Weah contest and lost?
Exactly.
Come on, you can't use that narrative, man.
You saw the trend in George Weah, the trend of his line. George Weah always put in the 33, 35 plus.
He was going after merger with other political parties. Start acting like he did on his own.
The trend. George Weah always went to. And if you have to have election tomorrow morning, George Weah will get in the second round.
Sylvester Pugh, listen to me, my brother, and let me just come in here quickly. I get the defense of your stand-up bearer. I know there's nothing wrong. I will defend Mr. Cummings to the core here. I get that part. But realistically speaking, I will say this again, and I think Winfred struck a brilliant point, and I'll continue to expand on it. George Weah, it's possible that George Weah as a standalone candidate with CDC, might likely end up in the second round, but he's not going to win an election against the Unity Party if it's a second round again. It's not going to happen.
So let me ask you before you continue, who would be that candidate for the Unity Party?
Who would be that candidate? What? I mean, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it.
No, but you can't just say because you call it, but
well, it could be Joseph.
One second, and two, you calling Weah name. We're calling candidates.
Okay, so let me go there. Right? It could be
Joseph. Let's
assume Joseph Boakai goes for a second round
against an 86-year-old Joe Boakai.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter.
It also does matter.
This was a factor. Okay, but Ben, it was a factor the last election, and people said Joseph Boakai
because Joe Boakai had not been president.
It does not matter. So
that's a stretch.
Joe Boakai in 2029 or 86-year-old Joe Boakai in 2029 would have been president.
We've seen a Cameroonian president that's nearly, frail, and people still electing him.
Is that an election? Are you seriously comparing Cameroon? Where the man can win 99% of the vote?
You're not going to listen. You ask me a question. I bring in the name Joseph Boakai, and you want to find every reason why.
No. Point of correction. And you will continue. Point of correction. When you started speaking, you said there is no way Weah will win an election against the Unity Party in the second round. You just said the Unity Party. I wanted you to quantify it.
So I said, okay, let's
calling the candidate name.
Okay, then give me a chance.
And exactly, Duke.
One second. Joseph Boakai versus George Weah, round 2 in 2029. Unity Party still wins.
Yeah, Duke.
Okay,
Duke.
So
PDC. I agree.
CDC, hold on 1 second. CDC.
No, you guys not serious. You guys
CDC.
I mean, I don't understand.
CDC. Hold on 1 second. CDC, if they're willing to come off the high horse and maybe reach out to a face that can present a new message like a Cummings
to rebrand.
I say it would be a different thing to talk about.
They won't come.
Guys,
Then you can go ahead. Nobody's
Duke,
paying me.
guys. I want us to come to.
The Unity Party
Ben,
will
1 minute,
defeat.
please.
Listen,
Duke.
Joseph Boakai any day will defeat CDC in any matchup.
Duke, let me say this.
You go ahead today. You said let's go to election.
Duke, let us come in. First of all, I want you to come back to reality because I don't think you are in reality. One, the reason Joseph Boakai won 2023 was for several reasons.
Okay.
It wasn't because it was Joseph Boakai.
What are the several reasons?
Let me learn.
Okay, go ahead.
There was something called a CPP first. There was something called a CPP first. One that resuscitated Joe Boakai back to life. By the way, he used and smartly to again him credit, and I get Unity Party credit because when I was warning people in the CPP that this is what Unity Party is going to do,
but that's not listen. Ben, you're preaching.
Let me.
You're preaching to somebody who knows all about that. But that's not an excuse. No, but Ben, Ben,
let me finish.
You are saying
Let me talk.
Let me finish. You said Joseph Boakai can beat We Are any day. I said to you, there were several reasons that led to that victory in 2023. I was giving you a chronological order of how he got to that victory.
Okay.
He got to that victory because there was something called the CPP that bred life back into the Unity Party's oxygen. I mean, into the oxygen into the Unity Party's lungs, right? We all know after the Unity Party lost the election in 2017, they were virtually left for dead. Joseph Boakai himself was not even thinking about running for president again, right? It was something called the CPP that came together. And the Unity Party was extremely smart and tactical. They sat back in the interim of the CPP. They all agreed that everything would be neutral. When they formed the 14th, they showed their hand and said, you know what? We had the second highest vote in 2017. Leapfrog ahead. Coupled with the fact that the CDC administration did not help herself also. The CDC administration, I keep saying, blundered in the first 2 years of the administration. So that scarred, coupled with the fact there was a united opposition that kept hammering them, it left an indelible mark on them.
Yeah, Ben.
No. Let me talk because the man was talking, he interrupted me.
The last thing I would say so y'all can come in, right? The last thing I would say would be the CDC also shot herself in the leg, did not manage her relationships. If Prince Johnson had not left CDC, Joseph Boakai would have never won that election.
Okay,
never.
All right,
so
perfect.
when you also make a blanket statement, you say, so let's fast forward to 2029. This is where my last thing you can come in.
And Ben, all the things you said quickly before doing coming, all the things you said, I agree with you somehow. But the major thing that stopped Mr. Weah from winning this election, the past election, but because we didn't manage Spring Johnson, period.
But that's what I'm saying now.
Period.
Go ahead.
So I will end on this.
No, I agree with that.
Go ahead.
2029, right? 2029. The caveat is this, and guess what? The good news for the Unity Party, they got 5 years. They got 5 years, right? Or they got 4 years, technically, because election rarely starts 1 year before election when you think about it, right? They got 4 more years. 2029, Joseph Boakai will be 86 years old. 86. You know the difference between the 2023 Boakai and the 2029 Boakai? He would have been president. He will now be running as president.
On his record, yes.
On his record. And the only way they will not win that election, like what Pee Wee said, if Joseph Boakai does a heck of a job in the next 4 years, and he's able to look the Liberian people in the eye and say, even though I'm walking with my crutches, y'all give me another 6 years.
And they will give it to him.
So let me kill it right there. 1 second. Let me kill it right there. So you're saying that Joseph Boakai won because of the collaboration with the CPP. And you're assuming that, George Weah could win because Joseph Boakai is going to have a mishap. But you're also saying that Joseph Boakai won because Prince Johnson supported him. And so you're expecting that Joseph Boyka's going to mess up, and George Weah's going to have the same coalition
No,
of
that's
people
not what I said.
who support him to win election, right? Let me say this to you, Ben. You know, I love your support of George Weah and how you feel so confident, and I'll repeat this again, right? Unity Party and the Congress of Democratic Change, just how you feel like Joseph Boyka's going to be running on the record, don't forget, George Weah's going to be
So we
running.
access the record. Yeah.
Okay, so you cannot exclude that fact.
They're going to
think
juxtapose
that
the
I
vote
said it.
record.
No.
And then of course there's no Prince Johnson anymore. So there's no Prince Johnson factor.
Then 1 second.
Exactly.
I said it. I said
One
the
second,
two will be
man.
running
1
on
second,
records.
But Ben, 1 second. To think that because of the mishap of the Unity Party government, that people are going to sit there and forget that the CDC was actually also a burden, and suddenly everybody will want to vote George Weah. To me, that's an illusion. That's an illusion.
What are you talking about?
No, I'm telling you, it's an illusion.
Dude, they're the same people who voted this man.
I was talking about the same, Andre.
Exactly. That's what I'm
Ben,
wondering. What are you talking about?
But
Ben,
our people don't vote on records. They
You
don't
think
vote
they
on,
vote on record, dude?
vote on records.
Ben, 1 second, let me speak. Ben, you can go
That's the
ahead
closing
and-
argument. Lit that fire on. Now listen to
And
that
I will
fire.
say this tonight. I will say this to you tonight. If the CDC, now the CDC has sustained a lot of injuries. They have lost some good people. Because if you tell me there's no bad blood from the whole legislative stuff, because we know, politically speaking, the people who undermine that thing from the CDC, the George Weah camp. They
always have
They lost Thomas Fala. The likes of Sir Joseph, right? And when you have the economists now that left them and he's throwing shots all over the place. Look, there were people strong people, and now you're talking about Pee Wee now trying to find a movement separate from CDC and George Weah, right? No, there's something that made that experience magical. And the fact that you're denying it tells me that you are not really following. The
What do you mean I'm denying it? I want to know what you say I'm denying.
Ben, this was the coalition of democratic change.
Okay.
It was a combination of other political parties.
So was the Unity Party.
1 second, please, my brother. I'm talking about your CDC, okay? It's a combination. You lost a lot of after the election. All the smaller party, what the United People's Party, all of those small parties that joined together to make that coalition started falling apart. What right now? When you have like the temptations.
But dude, you're talking about 2025. We're talking about 2029, right?
The CDC is like this, the temptations without the star character.
Oh my God.
Okay, so you're talking about George Weah as a standalone. I'm telling you, the only way the CDC can be a tasteful political party to voters, if those were in the hierarchy of the CDC, and I'm speaking a message, you may not like me, but please listen. Look, we know that you revere George Weah. We know that some of you see George Weah as this face for the Congress for Democratic Change.
What
But
are
if
you,
the
what are you
CDC
talking about, Duke?
1 second.
We'll get to your point. You've been speaking about it. You know the problem with you, Ben? Yeah, you get.
But
You're
Duke,
getting
how is
upset.
Boyka managing? How is Boyka
That's
managing?
why I want him to get to. He's still not getting.
Because you
You
interrupted me.
You
You
just.
interrupted me, right? No, you Ben, Ben, the only reason why you have an issue is
The
because you're
PFOA.
spoiling your face for George Weah. Let me tell you, that's the
Duke.
problem, right?
Duke, you really believe, Duke, you really believe I'm making a pitch for George Weah? We are having an intellectual conversation. We are having a hypothetical conversation here, Duke.
So
What could happen? That is what we are talking about.
Can
And
I
you have a different opinion. Somebody else have a
Can I
different
finalize
opinion.
my point? Can I finalize?
But how
my
is
point?
Boyka managing? How is Boyka
But we've
managing?
been waiting for you to finalize your point, Duke.
No, because you
We're
interrupted
inviting you
me.
to come to Oil Paris next month,
You
okay?
interrupted
Okay,
me.
all right. Now be there.
You interrupted me. You see,
Go
you
ahead.
interrupted me. But let me say this.
Miss Duke, man, you gotta
have
let,
to find a
you
new
gotta
face.
let,
You know, the CDC will have to find a new face. It will not have to be George Weah on the ballot because we'll be in the losing effort. And if Joseph Boyka show up for election in 2029, and the only option we have to pay for between George Weah and Joseph Boyka, trust me, people will go the other way. They don't want anything to do with Weah. So that's just
Duke,
Okay,
you let? Do you
Let somebody else come in.
So the question that do how
Go ahead.
is Boyka managing? Look at the issue with AB Kroma too. All right, the issue is, so how is Boycott managing?
No. Dude, 1 second now. Dude.
No. Because you think
let Emmerich ask you.
How is he?
Because it's fair. I think the question is fair because
we talk about conversation. Then that's fine.
No, but how is he? We're talking about coalition, right? You said we are.
No, but
did not manage the coalition.
Emmerich, 1 second. That brings some sanity, right? Dude, you highlighted CDC's mismanagement of her coalition. We also know that United Party has mismanaged her coalition because before Prince Johnson died, he wasn't happy, right? We know that.
Right.
That if elections were held today, Prince Johnson would not be supporting the Unity Party. We know that.
That is correct.
It's a fact.
It is a fact.
They don't say it.
It is a fact.
But
They too have managed because and guess what, dude? They too won an election with an alliance. It was called the UP Alliance.
So he was going to.
This is what I'm getting to, right?
The elections were held today.
This is what I'm getting to.
That's what you're saying.
Let me end it right.
He was going to support George Weah.
You see, let me end it right. We talk about mismanagement on. We talk about mismanagement.
He was going to support George Weah.
Dude, we'll talk about mismanagement on Weah's side, right? So let's look at the whole issue with Liberty Party, Young Lee, with Prince Johnson, with Al Cobb. They are all dissatisfied right now. Most of them, they are dissatisfied right now. So how do you think Boycott going to go in 2029 with the issue of mismanagement and still be able to win? So it's not easy. What I'm saying, it's not easy in our politics because everybody wants a share of the pie, right? It's not easy. It's something that's challenging. Even right now, people are dissatisfied. People are disenchanted too with President Boycott. So how do you think? How do you think? Yeah. So 2029, he's gonna go. You think Delon is happy with what's happening too? No, he's not happy too.
That's for the Unity Party to figure out.
What's
we don't throw out suggestions.
I'm not. It's for the CDC to figure out too.
CDC can figure out.
CDC to figure out.
That's not a problem. Both parties.
Dude,
I'm not saying both parties.
Dude,
both parties. What I'm saying here is, in a nutshell, if you feel strongly that George Weah can win the election, other people feel strongly that Joseph Boycott can win the election.
Well, I don't take that away from you. Nobody said that. Nobody said otherwise.
What I'm saying to you, and I'll repeat, George Weah as a standalone candidate on the CDC will not win the election. It is better off for the Congress or for Democratic change to reach out to a face like Cummings and see how best he can provide a new imaging, repackaging of that particular brand to be able to sell that message. But I'm telling you, Ben, I'm being honest with you. George Weah as the face of CDC any election, he will have his few people that will go with him.
So okay, let me ask you a question. So I want to ask you a question. Before Pee-wee and the rest of the guy come in, let me ask you a question, dude. You believe that CDC is dead? You believe that they are washed?
No.
You believe? No. Wait. No, I know I go in. Emmerich. Then you are asking Duke. I asked Duke the question, and I know where I'm going.
Go ahead.
You believe that George Weah he's damaged goods, right? But you also believe that Cummings should go and be the standard bearer of CDC and wants George Weah support. How do you correlate the two?
Relax. Okay. So if you're asking me that based upon what I've said, I believe that George Weah is not influential enough to lead his party, but he needs to go there, and that means he would need the support of Cummings. And let me explain to you, man. What I said here, and I'll repeat myself, that George Weah on the ballot as that candidate for the party is not an attractive message. Now, it doesn't mean that George Weah cannot act within some capacity on the back end. We see it over time in politics. Hold on 1 second, man. Hold on 1 second. This is politics, right? If you're not appealing enough to be able to, because what I believe that particular party, the CDC will need, it will need a collaboration of other people who would be really upset at the Unity Party. That's my point. So people who support a boycott and probably say that, I don't like how things are going. But they look at George Weah CDC, but then why would I go support this man? So turn out for me. That candidate, I think Cummings can be that candidate. You have the CDC, but he can be that one to be able to give some level of appetizer, that appealing message, and appeal to people like that to move them, right? I think that's his greatest point. George Weah can be on the back end. I'm not saying politically he doesn't have influence in his party. I'm saying on the ballot, he does not present that much of a threat because it is just something that's already been packaged and branded to the people and they know what it is. But with a new face like Cummings, a new message, right? With all of the people in the back, and then reaching out to people. And I'll tell you, if you tell me this, listen to me, CD Chance, don't cost me, listen to me, right? If you're ready about the party and you want to win that election, I will start having meetings to talk to WIA. Give Cummings the chance, reach out, form a team of people who can go back and admit, look, there were errors. Correct it. You need the kind of message.
We heard that.
This is what I'm saying. You need a new face.
Listen,
what he's saying makes a lot of sense and it's very plausible. So it is
plausible. It makes sense. People are supposed to
I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but let me tell you the reality. Couple of things could have happened here, and that was one of the reasons some of us asked Mr. Cummings. I said it the last time on this very show. I think Emmerich was on the show with us. No, it was Anthony Gay and you, right? I said, when you talk to many seditionists, they always say that Cummings is their second choice. Anybody that you know that in CDC, they tell you if we are not running, we will vote for Cummings. And that was where I thought Cummings missed an opportunity and did not think like a politician. In 2023, Cummings should have endorsed WIA. You want WIA support? Let me tell you something. WIA support base is not normal. Maybe we don't get it. WIA support base with his people is emotional.
It's unshakable.
It's unshakable.
It's unshakable.
Whether you go up, you come down. And whether you like it or not, if you take WIA out of that system,
but it may not be. It may not be unshakable, Ben. But have him the head of the ticket. That's a whole different thing. He can support from the back. We love Michael Jordan. We love, we love White.
I think what we're doing, we're thinking too much for the people in Liberia. And I have studied our politics, right? I don't want to exert my thought process on our people in Liberia.
No, I mean like Ben said, hypothetically, we just
exerting.
But there's notion
a really good conversation.
There's notion
a message that we believe, right?
There's notion
optional and probably a lethal weapon for the CDC. This is not exerting. It's
guys,
to the people.
Guys, this
is an opportunity for the
George Weah does not have to be on the ticket to be effective and be influential. He doesn't have to be the head of the ticket. He will still be effective and influential and not be the head of the ticket.
Our people don't think that way.
You see the good news?
Okay.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. And let me tell you why I don't disagree with that. Because this very George Weah we're talking about, he did it in 2011. He ran for vice president. He didn't run for president. He ran for vice president with Winston Tubman.
Yeah, Winston Tubman.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's how you get there.
He did that. This was before the people saw his true worth.
Exactly.
This was before he served as president, and they saw.
Contrary to what we want to sit and believe on this platform, if we are going by the election results, almost half of the country, or about half of the country, and if more people in the first round gave George Weah a thumbs up.
Okay, so at the end of the day, if we go by that result, that means he's going to lose an election again.
But this is the point. He did that right.
And that's the point you're missing. Emma, please, 1 second. Right? Let me say this to you. And I want to just use it in the football term. The Baltimore Ravens realized something important, that in the playoffs, they were just not moving because they needed that person to be able to get them.
Use the Vikings, man. Come on.
They went after Derrick Henry to be able to make up. George Weah has already been president. There's nothing he needs to prove. If George Weah wants to, if he wants to make,
so this is the question: do our people vote on?
You think it is a mistake? You think it is a mistake, gentlemen? Do you guys think it is a mistake? I come in, Ben, right after me. Then we'll go to the guy. You think it is a mistake And again, we are acting like we're dealing with a normal political situation here.
Exactly.
You think it is a mistake that when they're asking people today, and I will say it again, if elections were held today between Buckeye and Wiki Wia, you think Buckeye will win? Anybody on the screen,
anybody can go conduct public different areas.
You see, that is what we do in Liberia.
There were times when we said that George Weah was not going to win. But people went there and conducted the areas favorable to George Weah. That's not the point.
Dude, we can't discount that.
We're not use that.
But dude, listen.
We're not use that. Let's forget about that game. George Weah can look. Ben, I will say this again.
But you gotta get all the chance.
What's the shopping there, people?
No, come
you gotta give other people a chance. You can't.
I'm breaking you, man. You bet you other people are talking. You Sunday.
No, you gotta. Yeah, win.
Come and go.
Guys, I have a.
Yeah.
I have a quick question.
Come and lead us in.
Yeah, uptown this weekend.
Well, all of you, and here is my question: all of you are chairman for a political party, and here are there are three candidates: Waka, Cummings, and Weah, and I want you to run a campaign for one of these three presidents. Which of these three guys do you think really has a shot? If you were to choose who to support, it's not for you liking their ideology, but who to support in a country like Liberia. It's not what they can do for the country. I'm not talking about that one because Liberians don't vote on no ideas. Just look at them, bro. What do you think you want to support the way?
No, but right now, as things stands, right now, honestly, right. Cummings has the chance because you know what people are saying. People are saying UP and CDC.
Cummings got zero chance to improve himself.
I come in.
No, you always do it because you're trying to find
the
lane, so you want to be talking
right
about
now.
zero.
Right now, Cummings.
Yet.
But listen now, as it stands right now, right? Cummings, people are saying CDC and UP for the last 20 plus years.
Yes,
election cycle. They are banned there. So people are saying they got to try something different now.
So I'm asking. I'll ask you a question so you can put in your answer.
Okay, go ahead.
Who are the people? Be specific. Which group of people?
Yeah. Okay.
The voters.
Now,
which Liberian people? Which one? CDC, seditionists, or United Partisans?
Liberians across. I'm saying it. Ben.
Okay.
You go to funerals, go to social gathering nowadays when they're talking about politics. That I will hear it. Even in Liberia.
Media in America.
I mean, you know what, Tommy? I was just at Waterside Market a couple hours ago. The guys were gathering around the same thing they were talking about. Exactly what Tommy is talking.
We're trying something new now. But now, in order to get to that point, right, Ben, you got to form that real serious coalition. And mind you now, Ben, as I end, the diaspora. I said the people in the diaspora, if they're serious, people say another too. You can't just sit down and say they go what Benjamin said. I send money for somebody to vote. It will not work. You pay your money, you go on the ground, take part in the voter registration, and you get involved with the people. And in your village, in your town that you grew up from, you get involved, and then that coalition can survive. And not wait till 2029. You start this year. And lastly, if it's a comment, it's serious to run for president, he shouldn't go at 2028. He must start this year and do things differently. Look, some people are polarizing our head at the face of the You get them out, you let them play a different role, and you put a serious group of people there, and you target people, influential people. Other than that, it will be the same 2007.
Thank you, Tamale.
It's going to be the same thing, and that's what we've been saying. And I mean, Duke will always say this way, and no matter I admire Duke sometimes when he's seeing his political.
You wouldn't admire him when he's talking in your favor.
No, he's not talking in my favor. I just admire him when he said the thing, enjoying himself about things. He will say the thing, he be so passionate about it. Eventually, everything up, right? So
if I join CDC today,
let me say here, the base of what we're trying to do in this country. I can say this to you, right? There have been a lot of personal process. I have personally engaged in the country in terms of how the the politics and how the voters in our country think and behave. And that's why I said the last time to someone I really believe in Mr. Cummings. I said it's about time that you guys engage Mr. Cummings to stop saying that people have to find money and give them for he contest. That he be man, he to come out and say, I will contest.
Where are you getting that one from?
Exhibit and start to exhibit those. I'm saying something to you very reliable, Chief. Very, very reliable. The last time in the history of the ANC, number one, the ANC had to find the trend. The Liberal Party we missed the whole process about how the whole ANC issue being handled and the rest of that. We know how the last election, who funded the ANC, who were trying to bankroll the ANC lifted. When that person withdrew, things slowed down a little bit seriously on the part of the ANC. It's one. Another thing, if you want to be part of this kind of a political process here, particularly the diaspora Liberians, you can sit here. Everybody will say, "Oh, we'll say that the time you vote, just sit on social platform, political platform." You don't, and that's why I commended Duke. Duke went to the country several times. We met him as an interaction on OKFM. Where's the party? He went in the country. He registered. He voted. But if we had like 40 or 30% of the diaspora Liberians going back to vote, they will have a very major say in terms of how the vote can change in the country.
I agree with you.
It will have a significant say in the process.
I agree.
Apart from just sitting here and saying things. Now, we've started this process. I'm about to go back to Liberia, engaging in all of the 15 counties, all of the major districts in those 15 counties. Speaking out to the people, we want to know something about, hey, what are the chances of Mr. Weah and Mr. Bwaka going back to the race? So we engage them, so we come back to a conclusion that if there were going to be a tailing, who are we beginning the process now to scout those potential elements that we believe can get in the process? If it's going to be Mr. Cummings, of course we will go after him and doing that. But we have to speak to the people. But beyond, instead of just sitting here and saying Mr. Weah cannot be, trust me, if you're to put Mr. Weah, and I like this issue of a Prince John is now gone. Now, Nimba County can be heavily divided. So it's going to be on the basis. You saw Mr. Weah's performance in the absence of Prince Johnson's support. Mr. Weah got close to 100,000 votes in Nimba. It was because of Prince Johnson's support that Mr. Bwaka beat Mr. Weah with close to 89,000 votes difference in Nimba County because of that support. Had the Prince Johnson men support went the other way around, that would have been a first round victory for Mr. Weah in this past election. So one thing I will say to you, Ben, Duke, Mr. Weah chances of winning the next elections in terms of on the basis of the because look at the day when we went to Huff Digger funeral, what the market women started chanting when they saw him.
His political gatherings.
When the market women came by and said, my son.
We know those moves.
What did the market
do? With me, man.
What did the market? Listen to the market.
Listen, I know you guys from the Vanguard. The Vanguard party.
Let a man finish.
Don't interrupt me, please. If you don't play the game, you know. Even I just tired. I don't want to talk too much about it. Yeah, the market women. The market women sounded the way when they saw Weah came up. Oh, Papa, you got to confess the problem. Papa, you got to confess the problem. And you sense the trend of the voting process and the voting population from those people, the market women. You sense the voting process from the young people. And you're to see him move out. So listen, it's just, I can never rule this up. But if you're to rule Mr. Weah out of this, they agree to put Mr. Weah out of the CDC. You bring Mr. Cummings there. But I can still beat them because Weah is now on the ticket. I'm very frank to you. To change Weah from the CDC, it had to be some serious thing where he himself will be going from place to place and people say that because of this, you have to do this. Mr. Weah's chances of winning these coming elections is still very strong. But the probability and possibility for us engaging, it's about time that we all engage this process. Let me say this to you, what quickly. Mr. Bwaka, Ambassador Bwaka on role, right? We're not talking about the PL 480 thing that you talk about again. Now that whole thing he's not for. We're currently trying to see the issue about who is in charge of government. Now, with the Liberian people continue on this path, the first and foremost thing, if this issue next year, this time is there, nothing good coming out, we know that it's done. It's a done deal. Now talking about the possibility now, fine. Who to challenge? If we believe Weah cannot even do, who to bring to challenge Weah? It's possible we can look at Mr. Russell that's sitting here. We say, hey, Mr. Russell, you got some good sense of political reasoning. It's about time we all govern our support, the diaspora base. We say, hey, we can promote you, for instance. You can be in the trend. That's part of the reason why we're looking for those level-headed individuals.
Thank you.
Level-headed individuals to be part of the process of discussing this thing very soon.
Thank you. Let's get to Robert and
that's
then
it.
Start around again.
Thank
you. Hey, my man, 2 minutes back. Let's get to Robert.
No.
Party
No,
yeah.
Wait, go right now.
They call it
The man is not authorized to get a party name.
The party will be given to you.
Can you see what I'm talking?
Immediately. I come in. The party will be given to you immediately after the next response to up added next month.
You see,
we'll call the name of the party.
In until 5 minutes to talk that one.
I'll be in Paris for that.
Don't matter, man.
So I want to start by saying I like the faces here. The late night show is picking up some real momentum. I haven't seen my man Duke in a long time. So it's good to see Duke.
You want to see the show again tonight?
He's fighting a war with soup.
It's good to see Duke. It's good to see Duke here. Nobody can pass between me and Duke now. Duke will protect me and I'll protect him. But listen, let me say this. I think that you guys are being
man. You know about it, man. What a man, wow, man.
Oh, that man, I don't know. I'll tell you, the party kicking around now.
You got new Battlefront now.
I think that you guys are beating on Ben Semi for no reason. Because I think, in my opinion, I agree with Ben. If an election was held today, let's be realistic, and you put all of this stuff in perspective. If election was held, and I just want us to put things in perspective. And Russell, you have this experience about voters' perception, and when you looked at why George Weah was defeated, mind you, the margin of vote was not significant, which is the reason why the country remains divided right now. Right? Joseph Boaga did not have a landslide victory against George Weah. In fact, in other countries, if George Weah truly wanted to, tell him to come back. Yeah, then he come back. Yeah,
stop falling for the United Party people, man. I don't know politics.
And that's why I let United Party people, because I know how to deal with that. I know how to deal with that.
So if that's funny.
You see the man talking on a character.
Yeah, that's my train of thought. Anyway,
if they pick it up and stay around the studio, he can.
So if you look at why George Weah was defeated, Russell, a lot of Liberians, including those who voted for George Weah in 2017, were just frustrated. They did not feel part of the government. They did not get what George Weah promised, right? They felt like just a few folks were enjoying the government, right? Something that they had worked so tirelessly for since 2011. They felt this sense of connection to George Weah outside of politics, and many of them still do today. But they believed when Unity Party said this government was inexperienced, this government came unprepared, and based on that, they just did not give you what you anticipated. We are the experienced folks. We have been in government for 40-something years. We know what it takes. We've been vice president. We know what it takes to start moving the needle. And if elected, we will undo most of what George Weah did not do. Your frustrations when it comes to harmonization, your frustrations when it comes to healthcare, your frustrations when it comes to road development, we have the answer. Your frustration when it comes to putting Liberia back on the map. They said Liberia was being laughed at by our international counterpart. Your frustrations to that, the dignity of the presidency. We know how to make this thing work. And then put in perspective 12 months later. Look at the country. Look at the country. No, look at the country today. Lawlessness is the order of the day in Liberia under the experienced watch of Joseph Boakai. Lawlessness. Look at the country today. Mind you, we had the same thing doing Ellen Jones and Sylvie Tom. But she exhibited the kind of leadership that Joseph Boakai had failed to exhibit. We did not see this kind of lawlessness going on Capitol Hill when during the Snow saga. We did not see that, right? Look at what's happening with the fire and all of this stuff. Look at what's happening with the decisions Joseph Boakai and his justice minister made to interpret the Supreme Court ruling rather than respect the Supreme Court ruling. And they could have done that politically without even asserting themselves as they've done. The fact that we're in Ghana, right? And you have the president associate himself with one illegitimate speaker, and the speaker who was provided by the Ghanaian parliament is also there. So when you looked at all of these things, healthcare, has the economy shifted in any way possible? No, it hasn't. Can you see the kind of leadership from Joseph Boakai? No. Have corruption improved? Absolutely not. Corruption has worsened. So again, when you put all of this in perspective, those folks who were mad, those folks who loved George Weah, but say, you know what? No, I can love this Bobby, but not to be president. Only because I don't think he's giving us what we wanted, right? And we will try these guys. If election was held today on the basis of that, remember they still love George. They still adore George Weah. They still adore him. When George Weah said the governance is not easy, it hasn't been easy for us. This is why we did harmonization. This is why we're doing all of these different things. Look at MedTech, for instance. They criticize MedTech. Why have they not undo MedTech? Why have they not undo a lot of things that they criticize today? So based on all of these things, if election was held today, how can you convince those folks who still love George Weah? And they have seen what you've done in the first year. You've worsened everything in every capacity. How can you convince them that Joseph Boakai is still the man or is still the alternative to George Weah if George Weah was on the ballot, based on his popularity and the affection that they have for him? So I agree with Ben. If election was held today, George Weah will win landslide. Remember, the Unity Party still does not have the full support of the people of Nima County because Prince Johnson was a huge factor. Remember, Prince Johnson supported these guys and they still could barely win the election. So with Prince Johnson out of the factor right now and Nima County is hanging in the balance, why do you think that George Weah would not win the election today if he was on the ballot?
Let me say that.
So we're gonna go to two. Yeah. One quick announcement before we go to you. I don't know how long we have for, but 2 minutes is your time, right? So we're gonna. This is.
Yeah, I was even yourself.
Any text messages? People are enjoying this thing.
We're enjoying it.
So
we had a 12 midnight, man. 12 midnight.
Okay, 12 midnight. Okay, so let's just have that time and let everybody be able to go around. So that with that being said.
So you gotta control Duke not to take all the show.
Yeah.
Duke.
Hey, you see what I've noticed when I sing in the song that people like to hear, then they want to listen to me.
Oh, Duke. Yeah,
you know I can pull your
no, but y'all let me control. Y'all let me control the flow over here because I'll be muting here and be booting him up.
I know, right?
I would go and say this, right?
Go ahead.
Everybody's got a point, and I've said this, and I'll continue to say the thing about CDC now. On the, I want to be objective. I want to be, in the middle, independent, and be honest here, right? If Mr. Cummings has to do this again, there has to be this willingness to want to bring people on board, right? Or keep people around him who are willing to do the work. And that's part of the problem. There are a lot of committed people, a lot of people who have the strength to do the dirty work, right? But I think part of the reason is that we get caught up in kind of buy into this whole notion that there's certain people who understand Liberian politics, right? And, at the end of the day, that's not the case. All of these guys said, like, people say he going in the rural area to talk to people. There's something called grassroots. Whether you live in America, you live in Europe, you live somewhere, those things are different structures that can be layered in different places, and you got to adapt. I don't know why people think is that different. The way in which I would run politics in North Carolina,
exactly,
run politics in Georgia, right? The same way I would do politics, in New York would be different than California, right? It's just that you got to have to. And he has some real committed people, and I think the era is that we need to understand who our best players are, and put a support system around those best players, and make sure they're doing the work that they need to do. So it has to be a grassroots that's aggressive enough to be able to go into those places, have those regular, engagements that are needed as well. Another thing on the on the CDC front, like I said, look, somebody wrote in the chat, people say that, I hate George Weah. Look, come on, I don't know this man. You understand me? I know this man to be, our nation's celebrated player, a great sport. Look, I interestingly, some of y'all don't know, but I really used to love George Weah play, right? PSG, AS Monaco games. I was excited. I love George Weah as a player. Politically speaking, I think he made some wrong decision. On the show, I said, George Weah, one of the errors that haunted, President Weah is that he should have made a decision to fire Samuel Tuet from the Ministry of Finance. That initial mistake hurt the CDC. Samuel Tuet made a lot of professional blunders. And we said this from the outside looking, the people who really have the eye and expertise said he should have made a call, but he was not courageous enough to do that. And the Unity Party say all you want. But when they appointed the guy to finance who came on the show, and I said, Syria, on several occasions on the closing argument, I think, we were all on that show there. And I said, this man's not really fit for the finance ministry. They went and put him there. But CDC, if Unity Party starts saying, man, we got to make change. And they put somebody else who I think, too, is another waste of time, but we'll reach out there. The same thing with Amin Moda. So you got to be able. So if we wants to make a comeback to setback or whatever it is, he has to be willing to listen. But to me, honestly speaking, that cannot be as head of the ticket. He has accomplished everything. They need seriousness. Now, one final point here, Ben, I promise. What is the message going into 2029? Okay, the Unity Party, you assume, you say, okay, Unity Party has blundered and they have not performed. Okay, you were there too, you blundered. How do you separate what you're going to do, right, different than, than the Unity Party? How do people find that trust? I think this is a difficult message, and why I think, honestly speaking, people like Ben, people like Pee-wee, all of the Doghouse CDCians, y'all listen to me, my people. Y'all tell Weah, look, Papa, we let you. And President Weah, look, I don't hate you. And I admire your courage. You've done a lot of things. You won a lot of awards. I like your charisma. I enjoy how you engage your people. It may not be refined, but I understand. But the presidency is not something for you. This is the time I think you try to expand on your legacy by doing the right thing. Step aside. Give the party to somebody.
Be like a Jimmy Carter.
Exactly, like a Jimmy Carter, and make sure.
What are you talking about? Jimmy Carter lost.
Give the party to somebody that can be able to take it down.
But we are lost. They defeated we are.
He did.
Yeah, but okay, listen. So let me.
What he's saying that
No, Winfred, are you coming next? I want to say something quick. I want to set the stage for the next set of conversation. It's the same topic we're talking about, but I want to say something. Couple of things that I wanted to make clear. We are discussing hypotheticals, right?
Yeah.
So, because listen, 1 year, 6 months is a lifetime in elections. Nobody on this platform, if you are giving them money to bet that maybe 8 months, 6 months before that election, that the current vice president of Liberia will be called Jeremiah Cohn, everybody will have bet against it because nobody saw it coming. So it just shows you how fluid the politics is. Nobody a couple of weeks ago would believe that we would be talking about Prince Johnson in the past, right? So it's a whole lifetime ahead of us going to 2029. A lot of things can happen. Some people will decide they won't run. Some people will decide they won't run. We are mortal human beings. People may die. Prince Johnson is no longer here. I keep reminding people, right? So the reason I bring that up is to say, when we are even having the discussion about a potential Weah and Buckeye or a CDC and what it mean, and a CDC and a UP rematch in 2029, that is also hypothetical because we don't know if there is going to be a strong, viable third lane that will prop up. We don't know. It could happen. You may be right that Unity Party may pick up its steam beginning 2025 and start doing a freaking heck of a job, and the people will be like, you know what? This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted for, right? The other thing that could happen, they could screw up royally, and people could say, you know what? But the reason why I said that if Unity Party and CDC goes to an election in 2029, given that Unity Party keeps on this track, because I think there's a unanimous consensus that the last 1 year has not been the year that they wanted to have, or the best in terms of governance and delivery. If this thing hold constant, and CDC and Unity Party go, knowing the Liberian voter psyche, without a viable third alternative, it would be an easier argument for CDC to make than for Unity Party to make, because Liberians often go for what they had than what they currently have. That's the only thing I'm trying to say.
Then why I agree with you? The reason why I agree with you
next year.
Yeah, the reason why I agree with you is simple, right? Unity Party presented themselves as the fixer of everything, right, that went wrong with CDC.
Yeah.
And they had according to them, they proclaimed to have the expertise, right, to fix the country's problem. But then when you see the struggles, and that's why I'm agreeing with you, looking at the expectation of our people, they have not managed it. They have not managed it.
Emre, look at something as simple as private jet.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that people will be talking about.
But if you look at Legis, right, where Gaffwan is the Minister of Finance, at the same time he's the chairman of the board. His brother is the managing director. You criticize we are on corruption, and then his brother's wife too works at Legis. That's a whole thing of nepotism, tribalism. We see him played over there.
But Gaffwan didn't appoint his brother.
No, but still, Gaffwan as a professional person. As a professional person, if I'm going into a place to help, to hold a position where my family is directly going to report to me, I'm going to question it.
But
I don't have to wait for anyone.
The head of the board, basically.
No, but you're the head of the board. When you're the chairman of the board, the president reports to you. The director reports to you.
Emre is saying it's almost similar to what, and this is totally far off from what was happening even in Wiyatan, right? But you have Pepsi, Yeke, who was head of Lace. And his wife was at PPCC. And
no, NASCO.
No. At first, she was at PPCC, and then she went to NASCO.
No. It was Jangako wife at PPCC.
Oh, Jangako, thank you. But I remember there was something similar.
Jangako, right? Controller General.
But that's right. What Emmerich is saying, and Pee Wee, is Unity Party campaign against that.
Yeah.
That was wrong. That Jangako, who was the controller general, had his wife at PPCC.
Yeah, you were anyway. Then with that reminder, I agree.
So that's what I'm saying.
Agree with that reminder, then I agree.
Yeah.
So Pee, that's the reason why you
because
see.
They even did the same with Pepsi. They said
exactly.
Pepsi of Liz and his wife was NASCO.
Exactly. They're two different entities, right?
Yes.
That is allowed. But we're talking about Gaffwan being
in the same entity.
The same entity. Yeah. Your brother, when you're the chairman of the board, right? You're the boss that the director going to report to, right? And the director is your brother. That's wrong. Even Gaffwan should have known. I don't think it needed to come to be in the press before Gaffwan can correct that. So when you look at all of these intentional, I would say intentional, right? Because Gaffwan knew that his brother was at Legis, the managing director. It's intentional. So if you call Gaffwan a brilliant guy who has worked who has the experience, right? The education experience. If that is happening under his watch, then I don't want to.
Emmerich, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. Folks are asking to call in. Folks want to call in and
let me
open up. I'm not moderating.
I agree. We should allow them to.
So if you look at
let everybody go one round.
If you look at what's happening, for instance, the initial stage, okay, the inauguration, the inaugural program, right? Money got spent, no accountability today. The program was poor. We embarrassed the entire country. Got embarrassed in front of our international guests. Up to this time, we have not had a report about it. So when you look at from the beginning of the inception of the government, right, the inaugural stage up to this time, the yellow machine, you criticize we are on the loan from Iboma was one of the loans, and so that we talked about, right? But then you came in the yellow machine interaction, right, up to today's day. So when you look at it, it's not different. What we're saying is not different from what we criticize in CDC. So how can you be a viable option in 2029 when some of those things, unless you, like you said, right, Pew, unless you do something magical,
Oh yeah.
something really different for the next 4 years, right? Liberians will not forget that. And these are things that we're going to bring up.
That's the only thing that will make the unity
Exactly.
happen.
So I agree.
Umen Bwaka or Kun to take the presidency.
Thank
Something major.
Major.
You do the coastal highway. You do the road heading to Lofa. You do the road from the
southeast,
from Douala to the
because if you
border.
do the southeast road, you
Then
can
you do the southeast road, you do Lofa road. Then you do the road going to Bopolu City beyond.
And then you create jobs. You mean jobs?
Then no, that do those things. Alone,
but
And then electricity too. You know,
if you do those things alone, you tell the person your second term,
your second term, they will believe you. They will get you.
I mean, that's the point. So we can't come now and just be praising and think that
and that's the reason. That's the reason I want to bring about this tail-end discussion. It's got a lot of steam.
Yeah, people will come to you with your tail.
We'll come to you. I'm not taking the road.
That's the baseline.
So one thing I know we appreciate. If not, I will put this out there. Nothing happens outside of a context. There's always a context.
True.
Right? So I'm not, so I would just put this out there. I'm not a member of any political party in the country. I'm not, I have friends, very close friends, good friends, many of them on this show tonight. I have friends who I affiliated with or part of, or many of the political parties in the country. I'm not a member of the ANC. Neither am I a member of the UP or CDC, right? But one of the things that disappoints me is that we tend to gloss over the vehement, calculative opposition that people came up with against Mr. Cummings. All of what they did to systematically destroy him from being, for having any chance of running. And now they wonder why he got 1.7 or 1.6% in. I mean, there's all of this stuff. That was a calculated attempt. And there's some people who would credit the UP propagandist team and all of these folks who, I mean, who came together, I mean, with this sort of vociferous opposition against Mr. Cummings. And then to wonder what happened on election day, first round, what happened. Mm-hmm. So for me, I wasn't surprised because we saw this coming. We saw this, people building this stuff, saying this stuff, calling him gay, calling him names. I mean, if this guy, he was nobody, or he was not a serious candidate, the amount of effort, and we saw what happened during the CPP process, and Ben talked about it.
And I think that's where the damage was really done.
I mean, they tried to for crying out loud, they tried to put this man in jail. I mean, how soon have we forgotten about all of that, all of what they did to Mr. Cummings?
Yep.
I mean, and we wonder, what
forefront of it. Let's not ignore that. Costa was at the forefront.
You can't blame Costa.
I blame President Bwaka more.
And don't blame Costa.
It doesn't matter, Ben. You see,
I blame President Bwaka more.
Okay. Yeah, they were waiting for coming.
We can't.
I blame President Bwaka. It was done.
How do you not blame Bwaka
more?
How do you not
blame him? That's not my point. I never said it.
That's why I don't like him.
I will not even be calling Costa in the conversation.
You have to.
That's why I don't like President Bwaka to me.
Because the assault, because now we know, because Costa said it.
But
that
President
this was
Boyka is
planned
highly
and
unethical.
orchestrated by the
He
Unity
got
Party.
no integrity. He
Ben,
got no
the
integrity.
fact here is just the thing. Nobody coming sugarcoat anybody trying to defend. There was a group of people, like Winfred said, there are a group of people who engage in this.
Okay, let's go back to Winfred. Let him finish his
That
thought.
was at the
If
point.
President Boyka had integrity, if President Boyka had integrity, if President Boyka had integrity, he would not have stood by it.
Let Winfred finish. Let Winfred finish. But I know you want to take President, but you want to get him a little pass. But Costa did not go testify under oath against Mr. Cummings.
Right. He was part of it. That's the point.
Go ahead.
He was part of it. He was part of it, and I know you want to protect it because that your people, but he was part of it.
But protect who? Who I gotta protect Costa?
So this was not. So this was not, by accident. So whenever we talk, we should try to put this stuff in some sort of context, and then to say, okay, no, I mean, this was by design. It was purely by design. So. Now what people are seeing and what people are experiencing, and Tourmaline talked about the absence of job creation taking place, the absence of, I mean, we hear that from a lot of people coming, we're in daily contact with our folks on the ground. Things are tough. And, and people are now seeing what we didn't do and what Boyka is not doing now, and they were looking for as Pee Wee and others have just said, this third rail, this third option, because we are not going to elect someone who is who has local experience or local president or local candidate. And I don't mean any disrespect by this, but if you look next door in the Ivory Coast, you see what Alassane Ouattara has done for Ivory Coast with his connection, the IMF and working in the international community. We've seen what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf was able to do. I mean, now people can. I know they will come on me and they talk about how bad and how corrupt she was. But whether you like it or not, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf has a lot of international connections, and she brought international connections to bear to create jobs and do all of that. With all of what Weah did in Europe and all of his football playing days and accolades there, he was not able to he didn't have the sort of tangible connection to bring jobs, to create opportunities for for people. This stuff, whether you like it or not, guys, it happens back home. I mean, it happens here, but it's a little bit more sophisticated. I tell you, as somebody who's been an elected official in the U.S., once you leave that position, the people don't know you again. You try to leverage some of those connections you've had. So these contacts and connections and who you know and all of these things, they're very, very important. And we see how that is hurting us. So Jeremiah Kuhn doesn't have any connection, without due respect, outside of Liberia. We see President Boyka is not leveraging any sort of connection, whether he had connection or not, as vice president, that he can bring to the country to help to create jobs. This is where people are looking, and Tourmaline, talked about this. This is where people are looking and say, you know what? We've tried all these guys. We've seen this. I mean, they made all these promises. Nothing has come to fruition. It is time. All of this sort of propaganda stuff. The man was selling sugar water. He was doing this. Now people are coming to realize that all of this stuff was just this big propaganda against a man who they fear, really, and with his international connection, he may be able to come and help to create jobs. Because one of the things that Mr. Cummings talked about, I listened to it, he talked about creating jobs. He talked about by ensuring that people have food on the table. He talked about that. So that's why I agree with Duke. That's why I think that having a Mr. Cummings, using the groundswell of support from the mass of the CDC, and if he were to join the CDC and leveraging the mass of that party, I think would propel him to the presidency in 2029.
Thank you, Winfred. Let's go. Who hasn't spoken so we can open the lines?
I mean,
who hasn't spoken?
You got the lines coming up. Ben.
Yeah, Lova, tell them to just be patient. Let Pee-wee finish, and then Robert, and then we can go to the lines.
Okay.
Yes, I will.
Pee-wee, I think it won't take too long.
I will be very brief. So I'm getting some understanding that the only lifeline for Cummings to get to the presidency is now through the CDC. I'm not sensing that tonight, and I will hope that will be part of the process. But I think Cummings himself should extend this. Other Brendan to start reaching out and say, "I beg you, at least you put me or give me some kind of room to come over." He needs to initiate the discussion. It cannot be you cannot move this kind of a process in what in diplomacy we call in the art of isolationism. That is not possible.
Neo-progressive.
No, it's not. It's not possible. No way that
it's not process. It's not process.
Yeah, that is not possible. But again, and let me agree with you, Mr. Russell, on this issue of Madame Salih. Madame Salih, I agree. One person I've always championed this cause that she brought a lot of changes in the country. Liberia was a pariah, almost a failed state almost when she took over as president. She changed the thing, brought system back into place. So we talk about this. All those things that are unfolding in the country, international partners coming up, trying to reconstruct the system over and again, So there was a lot of wonderful things she did for the country, and her connections to the World Bank intervention. We have a lot of brand new roads from Monrovia Red Light to Ganta was on her still Buchanan, Monrovia Buchanan, and all those major things that she pumped into the system. A lot of things through the Chinese. And they did a lot more. But for the politics quickly, I will hope that it's important. I believe I have always said this, I said Cummings is a respectable individual. But the way we project him, I haven't seen the kind of individuals that we needed to, but maybe if you were to change the mindset, bring people like us on board, to change Cummings to be a helpless, probably the person would change. But the way people like the Duke and the rest of that, they brought this retail kind of a politics. And you don't do in a retail.
Hey, Duke, lead a man, Duke, my man. Hey, my Duke.
We are coming lost the election.
Yeah, my leader man, Duke. Yeah,
it's the fact. We are coming lost the election.
But election like bro, election like bro, not free and fair. You don't
free, fair, transparent.
Let's move forward.
Coming down 1%.
People waiting on the line, guys.
No.
Now you talk about furniture party because you.
All right, go ahead, Robert.
Robert,
you got 2 minutes.
Listen,
let me talk too.
Listen, Cummings. I think the more you think about it, to be honest, I think the more. You sometimes come to a realization that we've missed out on a unique opportunity for true transformation, right? By just trying something different, right? And seeing how it works out. Or we might just get that opportunity in 2029. Doesn't matter how it comes, maybe through a collaboration. My only concern about and my only doubt about any possible collaboration, I ask myself right now, we're not in 2011 where George Weah. I don't think George Weah will repeat what he did with the Winston Tubman situation where he went second, and there were a lot of reasons why George Weah went second to Winston Tubman. You remember, his academic credentials was on the line. And politically, people thought that it was just wise. Not only that, his experience as well was on the line. George Weah was not even senator at the time. So when people said, go and get education, he went and got education. People said, oh, the men don't have no experience. You can't just take over Ellen Johnson, so things like that. The country is still in talk. All of these things were on the line. So I think we have made a smart political move to put the fellow as head of the ticket who had the international experience, who had the foreign policy experience, and who had the academic experience.
Guys, once the line is open, I will start to bring you guys on. Hold on.
Mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Sorry.
To lead the ticket. But do I see that happening right now in 2029? What would be the reason why George Weah would want to possibly go second to Alice Cummings? George Weah is former president. George Weah has the experience, the presidential experience. Unless the question is, listen, man, at this moment in time, should we try something different? But I'm still hopeful. I don't care what you think about Alice Cummings. Alice Cummings is an asset to our country. And I do believe that the status quo do not want Alice Cummings to be given the opportunity because he might just make some radical changes. He might just sweep things around. I mean, I strongly believe that if Alice was president, he won't do things as usual. But then people might have questions about that as well, given the way he ran his campaign. Some of his top folks do work for Joseph Boakai, like Grigsby right now, right? So would he condone most of what Grigsby is doing under President Joseph Boakai? I don't know. But at the end of the day, just based on everything that we know, I strongly believe that I think this is it for Unity Party. I don't see how Unity Party progress without Joseph Boakai. And come 2029, I'm hoping that they succeed. I'm hoping they do better at the end of this year, because if they succeed, the Liberian people succeeds. But if we still do not see the needle move in key areas like education, the healthcare, job creation, if we don't see these needles move, I'm telling you, the election come 2029, if George Weah decides to win, I believe he will be re-elected president of Liberia.
Thank you, Robert. So we're gonna go to the phone lines.
We're getting another spokesman for the.
We're gonna go to the phone lines.
Who is that?
Our people communicate.
Who is that?
This is the late night.
I'm giving my analysis.
My man, y'all, where you from? You know I'm hosting. I'm go for hosting.
Look at Ben.
Oh yeah.
You know I'm hosting.
This is the late night fire. Now you're closing argument in the deal. What communication? We control this show. You
somebody, man, tell over the man.
All right, so folks,
ahead,
let's get back to the phone lines. We have a lot of you online tonight. We will start with our international callers. Callers, as we state, the first 3 and the last 4 of your numbers. We'll start with the only international caller we have tonight, and then we'll go to everybody else. Caller 496, last 4 is 2233. Your name and where you calling from?
Hey, good evening, guys. My name is Ogatados. I'm actually calling you from Europe. I want to say good evening to all of the panelists. My man Emery, do you black me on Facebook?
Also, Emery, you can hear when
I didn't like him though. Over 10 years ago, he's talking about.
On black man.
Election will be conducted in New York, or the voter attitude in New York will be different from the voter attitude in Colorado, or the strategy will be different in Colorado or North Carolina.
I see you, man. We following the show.
But then he still, when he tried to tie that to the Liberia scenario. In Liberia, you can sit on the radio and yell all you want. For any individual to win the presidency, it has to be through the Unity Party or the CDC. You cannot, there will be, it's almost like the Democrat and the Republican in America. For anybody to be a president in America, you will have to either use the Unity Party or you will have to use the CDC. That's one. The second thing is, I will also look at, let's put George Weah defeat into context. George Weah lost all of the major counties. He lost Montserrado, he lost Lofa, he lost Lima, he lost Magibi. Those are all big counties when it comes to election voter numbers. And he lost the counties. But guess what? He lost less than 20,000 votes. So it tells you that George Weah is still a popular candidate No matter how you can turn me, you can yell, you can denigrate all you want. He still remains a viable candidate in our political dispensation. And one of the things that gave him the weird momentum is growing again in Liberia because the UP failed on most of the promises. Let's for example, if anybody talk about free tuition, they say, hey, give our people jobs, our people don't need free tuition. When you give them jobs, they will be able to send their kids to school. Today, the university cannot even form the free tuition policy in Liberia. You have been closed for 6 months. Since the early region, the Georgia region, the University of Liberia has not been closed for more than 6 months. But only Joseph Walker, the most experienced, the university has been closed for around 6 months. That is a failure. They talk about harmonization. The politics are harmonization. Harmonization was not a bad policy. Harmonization was not about cutting people pay. Harmonization was about fixing public sector pay grade and addressing pay disparity, right? But we play politics with harmonization and make it low public. Today we have Unity Party in power. They fail to undo the harmonization. So now when people are only seeing that Unity Party was the fake and everything they said they were going to do, they fail on it. So let me say something, please. Let me conclude on this.
Go ahead.
To conclude, right? I would suggest 2 things for Mr. Cummings. And this is just honest, right? Like Ben Sami said, if you ask any citizen, I'm a diehard citizen, everybody knows on the show. If you ask any citizen, say, after we are who you prefer, I would prefer Cummings. I've had this conversation with Moriah and other people. I say, if George Weah step out of the race today, I would die behind Cummings. And that's the truth. And there are only 2 ways for coming to the presidency. The first way for coming to the presidency is for you to accept to go as vice president to President Weah.
See a lie?
If Cummings do accept, because Weah will not be having a second term, if he accepts to go as vice President Weah, he will automatically get the shot to go as the president after 2029, after Weah. The second way, and I think it's one of the easier ways, is for he to contest as a senator of most other counties. Beat Darius Dillon, the fake life, beat Dillon with the CDC support, get the president pro term.
But I thought we had other quarters.
No, woman, let him talk.
Let him
Lofa controlling the call.
Let him in.
I told you that not your show yet. Me and Lofa running the show.
Yeah, that August thought he hasn't seen me in a long time, so he's happy.
Okay, let the guy learn. Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. Sorry, guys.
Lofa, you the co-host. Make sure you mute Robert.
After we have last term, then with the CDC support, Cummings can be the next president. So I want to be careful. You cannot say on the radio, you say you want for Cummings to be, and then you be denigrating sedition that will help Cummings to be president. That was one of the things that the ANC people did in 2023.
Thank you,
Oga.
Thank you, Oga.
So, I just want to put that point.
And Oga, you can join the show.
All right, he's gone.
That guy no comment, Mr. Coming age. Another says yeah, then he began.
But and Duke said, Black I'm gonna run for re-election.
I'll do say I do.
Ben, we got 6 callers on the line. God, let's bring all the callers to.
Go ahead, Lufa. Sorry. Go ahead.
Caller number 1. You know your number already. Caller number 1, your name and where you calling from. Let's hear from you.
Yeah. Good evening. This is Principal Powell.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for the show. Listen. You know, do you know I didn't get up the politician in Nigeria? You know, I think you like talk about all the talking about Trump. You know, right now. And then looking, I only see a test. Listen, your students cannot do nothing in that world. Nothing. Your students cannot do nothing. People on our side, get it, do it, they get a choice. Nothing. Look. Your money is coming to your students. When you can't reach the good decision, they make a decision. When you work us and get it. When you feel maybe yourself like you're so superior to power, then they say nobody to do that. It's not part of them. That's what you can do. What I want to show, you don't want the people to feel that they need to jump like that. And you don't lie to yourself. So all I hear is your coming. Or you pretend to be there, you're really like cool, when us. Never, people, yeah. Come on, bro, come in. But when I want to say that, those people that supporters coming, they love where. And we go for a party better, come in, not like where, come in like this, then he is not ready for anybody. Then come in, thanks for coming. Don't be a safety, no. Could you have it changed for 2023 election? Because there are state in your day, why is coming down, going away? If you keep doing things, you're not having yourself. Then I'm going to election. Look, you can concentrate, you can do anything with that. No matter we take it, you take it round. In the second round, first, second round, everybody will be in the second round. Seriously, will be there. This, that's what we're talking about now. The other level, on the side, two side, I feel that. How are you looking at it? If anybody is going to get out of this, you have to test, you have to pass through somebody. You can't just push somebody away. It's okay. It's clear. You can see it. The angle in that country is clear. One side, you want one side, I want one side. It's there. So if you want to come between there, you can make it the way of this perspective. But you won't begin that. You smell one, other one, you're joking.
Thank you.
Thank you, sure.
Thank you. Let's take caller number 2. Your name and where you're calling from. Let's hear from you.
Yes, sir. This is Anthony again. I'm calling from Delaware. Hello?
Let's hear from you. Go ahead.
So I'm so glad the first caller will call from Europe and he lay out some things. And here's what I want to say. And I want to, say good evening to Councilman Russell.
Who's it? Anthony Gay?
Service to the community and to the United States as well. Thank you for your work you did in Minnesota. Look, I'm speaking to every Liberian, whether they support comics or they do not support comics, whatever the case may be. There is a thing. I like when people, say, oh, Mr. Cummings is nothing, but you should be vice president. Oh, Mr. Cummings is not this, but you should be this. That's what I have to say to everyone. All of these things are great ideas. Here's what we should do as an ANC and the party. We must get in the trenches beginning 2025, 2026, 2027. We got to work, do our own homework, grow our base. If the time for collaboration comes in the future, we will work on that idea. Today, we need to put in the work. Let me use a basketball analogy. When you're on the bench, you work hard. When you are called upon, that Kobe Bryant was called upon by Phil Johnson, he show up and he did his thing on the court. And you got to respect it. If we just sit by and say, oh, we will work for collaboration, we will never be respected, just as we were not respected in the TPP. We need to work. We need to put in the work. When the people see our work, they will value us when we're at the table to discuss. Until then, anybody that discusses about any collaboration today, ANC will be overlooked, will not be respected, will be premature. Let's get in the trenches. Let's be seen. And in the coming days, Mr. Cummings will have a press conference, and that press conference will start the conversation, and the people will know what we stand for. All of these ideas you guys bring out, you should go as a senator, you should go there. They are all great ideas. We embrace it, but guess what? We need to do our own homework. We need to do the work that is necessary for the Liberian people to see us as we are serious parties in the political arena. We are not here to talk down anybody. We are not here to dismiss any political party. But one thing for certain, Liberia is not a two-party system. It may look as two-party system for 2025, 2011, 2017, 2023. But we have seen somebody who have won elections, like Chancellor, without that circumstance, since he left, it has not really been tested yet. One thing in Liberia, competition is not encouraged. Every time you want to bring competition, it shows as though you want to present yourself as though you're better than others. No, we're not better. Guess what? We embrace all of the good ideas. We just need to do our own homework. We just need to grow our party, put our base. Because where's your base? We need to create that base. And the only way base can be created is as the way this government is proceeding so poorly with lawlessness. We need to teach the Liberian people that there is an alternative. That alternative is us. We need to do our work 2025. We need to do our work 2026. We need to do our work 2027. If we don't do those things, we should forget about 2029 or even forget about any collaboration. But nobody will take us serious.
Thank you. Thank you. Caller number 3, let's hear from you.
Hello. How are you doing? About 3?
Caller number 3, because caller number 3, they were all notified already as you come on. So trust me, they know themselves. And all of you guys know yourselves. Hello? You are assigned specific. You are assigned specific number. Caller number 3, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Joseph Tama from Cleveland, Ohio. I listened to a couple of the callers, but I would like to respond mainly to Duke. I would say this to do, that we're all in the United States of America and we saw what happened to President-elect Donald J. Trump. There was a couple of these saying guys on here saying a lot of things about Trump. And here we are. Trump is the president of the United States of America. I'll say it to you guys are supposed to call me. I'm not saying it other kid, but I'll be honest, it's my honest opinion. Comey is not a presidential material for Liberia, let me not lie to you. And CDC does not need Comey. If anybody needs Comey, it will be the United Party. And I will say this to you, election here to do whatever, whenever, when you mention the name Weird, there will be nobody to say in front of Weird. So it's a lot of people, all Liberian this. You know, I will say this to many of in the diaspora, we are the property of people suffering. Because all we want to take and decide the wrong decision to make the wrong choice for them. You guys are the same people on air saying, oh, we are not doing well. We need Boyka, we need Cummings, we need this, we need that. Yeah, we have today, we get Boyka as president. But we start there, we saw all of the things that we are president, we saw all of the good things that we are there, but we're the same people because they're the propaganda. And you know, see that we, there is Liberian, we love the Liberian so much to the extent that we always spread the hate messages. Let's look at the economy where we are inheriting economy on the man study. And then look at what he took the economy. We saw all of this things, we saw all of the good things we are, the poor blast out, we said we are a problem. I always ask you guys, always say we are going to have a problem. Why this government in power they cannot prosecute? We are. You guys say, oh, we are paying for the one condominium. It's there. The government in power. You guys went to the Washington D.C. Your protest for sanction, the post-sanction on this guy accused Samuel Toure. Oh, we actually attacked Samuel Toure because he was supporting government. Let's look at the economy of Samuel Toure. It was only Samuel Toure that passed the fiscal policies. First time ever to pass 18 indicators. It was because of that we ought to be qualified for the 500 million that the UP was supposed to ever. But you still say that today and say Samuel Toure was supporting the government under the leadership of former president we are. How can we say this when we say we love Liberia? There's nothing wrong with you supposed to come in, but don't denigrate we are because you want to support come in knowing that we are because you are interested like where all of you guys said. We are experience, you don't have the experience. So we take that. I mean, who does not have the experience? Look at where he took the country almost 6 years. Let's look at Ebola, the coronavirus. Under the leadership of President we have crisis. Even in America, look at the Easter that happened in America, look at what happened in Liberia, how you control that. Nobody talks about that. You play blanks and you don't talk about all these things.
All right. Thank you.
Saying not doing work, but let's look at how you handle these things.
Thank you.
You're not getting credit for it.
Guys, we ready gotta go. Guys,
but what is his name? What is his name? Because
he stated his name earlier, Emery.
Yeah, but I don't remember his name. What is his name?
I'm not gonna go back to ask his name.
But Lofa, you can't be like that now. You cannot be like that. We're asking a legitimate question. You don't need to be like that. No, seriously. No, you don't.
Call us on the line.
Yeah, but then yet still, it won't take you a second to know his name because we need to respond. It won't take you a second to respond. No, Lofa.
I said a caller. I did not say anybody.
Yeah, but then he's on the phone. He can still call his name.
Man, let's not do this.
No, but don't do that. I'm asking for his name.
This is caller number 3. You can respond to him based on.
Okay, but it's caller number 3. You don't need to brush off anyone.
You're not being brushed off. I'm simply saying we got to get to the line. There's a lot of people in the line.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, Lofa.
Man.
Yeah, I'm happy there.
You go ahead, close up.
Yeah, so that the study I was talking to the coronavirus. Look at how you put that.
You got.
But we still
use 30 seconds. Use 30 seconds to close up. Let's get to the next
caller. He did nothing. And now we have the experienced president in power. We have the people with the expertise. Look at how they run the country. We accuse we are old. He does not care for the rule of law. They got people dying in his government, no security. Look at what happened under the experienced government. But then you want to stay here today and tell me that you prefer election here today.
Thank you, caller. Thank you. Let's take the next caller. Caller number 4. Okay, you got caller. That's it. Let's go. Caller number 4. Let's hear from you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is Anthony Williams. I call from Minnesota. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. Firstly, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Straight to the point. I'd like to address Duke. I don't know if he's still live because I'm back on the.
Yeah, that was
right
that.
Yes. So, like I said, a couple of arguments on Duke's perspective that I find very incomprehensible. That folks from Cummings Town who found solace in related to Unity Party folks, and in the opposite, they want to criticize or see CDC as a problem. I don't get it. I don't see the comprehension in that. And Duke, who portray itself to be that intelligent, you should understand that the voting culture in Liberia has a rudimentary voting culture that is solely ascribed to three major components. Maybe he does not follow the Liberian politics, maybe because of Cummings, now recently decided to get involved. Well, I would tell him that Liberian politics is influenced by these three factors. I would tell him. Personality, sometimes it can be interchangeably used by popularity. Tribalism, something that worker favors or favors worker, and political expediency. These three things, no one can become president of Liberia absent of these three things. And all of these three things, honestly, Cummings checked as number one, but because of the presence of Joseph Walker and Mr. Weah, Cummings is going to find it difficult. Tribalism doesn't favor Cummings. Political expediency doesn't favor Cummings. So in any political challenge, if the elections were held today, Cummings would still be number three option. That doesn't mean that Cummings is not a good candidate. I believe that Cummings will make up there for a good president for Liberia. But the issue here is folks like Duke, who is far from reality. You spend all of your time supporting Unity Party, a party that solely got Mr. Cummings where he is today. Everything that happened to Mr. Cummings that transpired around his presidency ambition were orchestrated by Unity Party. But you guys will go and support Unity Party, and when you fall short of consolidating the Liberian people or support, and you want to fall on CDC and make it look bad, CDC needs Mr. Cummings. From the onset, if you, like Ben said earlier on, if you interview any citizen, any diehard person that gives or support to George Weah, they will always tell you, people like me, always tell you that if George Weah abstained for the process today or was not part of the voting process, Mr. Cummings will be a viable option. And because we see that lot of similarities between Mr. Cummings and Mr. Weah. I just gave you two and let the other color come on. Number one is that now, prior to Mr. Weah becoming president, Weah did not participate in any political antecedents in Liberia, especially in terms of the civil crisis. Weah has gotten his wealth out of politics and his recognition international out of politics. Those two things are correlated, and those things will bring value to the discourse. Liberia started to transition from the old order, from the traditional politics, the conventional politics rather. That's why that's why they went for George Weah. So y'all can say everything George Weah came for the football field, came for Gibraltar. Many of you did not, you don't even recognize George Weah was the senator before becoming president. You let to fool the people. Many things that George Weah had no political or capital before becoming president. He just came for Gibraltar. He didn't reward that. He didn't have no achievement whatsoever. So that's why we say Mr. Cummings is a viable option. I believe that Mr. Cummings can work with CDC, but it has to be on the consensus, on a respected basis. Not like people that do will come in the open, will continue to insult people who support George Weah. Maybe think that you are more intelligent. No, you're not more intelligent than people. There are a lot of people educated, well successful, younger than you are, even in the diaspora in Liberia, that support CDC. So that kind of bad rhetoric, that kind of irresponsible way of targeting people or responding to people because they feel maybe you speak better English than the local man in Liberia, or you have certain opportunities that make you better. No, my brother. When it comes to the voting culture, the people don't look at these things.
Okay.
Voting culture is impacted by three different things.
Okay.
And I just listen. So
thank you.
Let's just start this debate. Let us be intelligent and get
all right.
With an open mind.
Let's take the next caller number 5. Go ahead. Number 5. Your name and where you calling from?
Yes, Julius. My name is Nelson Gaga. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Nelson Gaga, go ahead.
Yes. What I want to say here is I think Ben Stanley is well knowledgeable of our political culture. People say politics in Liberia. Yes, let me tell you guys too. I think Julius knows me. We are supporter. But if we are in front of the race today, my next choice would be communist. Okay? But I can see we are faced on the ballot or in the race. Then I will go and get communist. No, I will not do that because I support him from the beginning. I've been supporting him from the beginning. He's my candidate. All right? But then set it off. Brother, no matter what you do, what you say, if the election was today, we are will win a landslide victory. You like it, you don't like it, is the people's choice. See what happening in the country right now. Y'all wanted to elect a very experienced Joe Biden. You elected him for the 5 years experience in governance. See our country. The people, I mean, if some of you people following the debates by home, the Spoon Network conducting different opinion pools, all right? And the people coming out telling you that Wakai's first term was a very big failure, all right? You follow it. Go and watch the video. All right? So, George Weah, brother, once George Weah is on the ballot, you can bring another comrade and put the government of Jesus Christ on them. They will not say wait.
Thank you.
Because George Weah is the ballot.
Thank you. Let's take color.
If coming wants to be relevant, you want to do well. I think somebody said it. I think you join the CDC and then he can be the best person from the ocean.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's caller number 6. Let's hear from you. Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah. Yeah. Hello.
Go ahead. Your name and where you calling from?
Hey, my name is Odesai. I call from Minnesota.
Go ahead, boss man.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank Ben. Ben is my real when it comes to the talk show. I think I've well understand Ben and everyone of you down there because Ben understands the Liberian politics well and he knows how to adjust the Liberian politics for well understanding of the people in the diaspora. Let me just go to my point. Liberian people, the side of voting is first impression. I can tell you for sure, if the United Party, when they knew that they won the election, they should have come up with a quick impact plan just to please the Liberian people. Just quick impact something that can please the Liberian people. But as long as you not do that, forget it. What all you do apart from that, let me just give you a common scenario. If you travel and come to the US, the first thing you do, people back with your friends, whosoever, you get a little bit of money. Anytime I ask you, hey, 50, 20, 30, 40, you do it like 5 or 6 months. I don't care. Anytime I call you, you say, my man, they're not easy. Other people want to criticize you there. Other people say, they can always do it. How Liberian people know. It just goes directly to politics. As long as the party, this first 1 year, they not do anything. Trust me, they have to take almost like what for extra 5 years. With good evidence, people in Liberian people can vote into power. Now you see me all in the street of the Liberian politics. That's it there. Just when you see in the street, because people are we go to Liberia every year, or go twice a year. We know what's going on there. The Liberian people, they talk. I don't understand the back right now. Everywhere you go, you ask them, man, we made a mistake. We should have just leave our pound, then to come to this people. It's not easy. Even the party came with the example of food people because they never had any kind of contact. Now they're struggling. Just in 1 year time, Baka have made more than that's interesting 1 year time with nothing. Every time you're traveling around, coming back with nothing. Nothing so bad with the CDC. They are talking, but the kind of action and the kind of suppression that the United Party used on them to make the government unpopular, to make the Liberian people to seem that they were not doing nothing. I think they need to take this thing. They need to really press the United Party, make the people to know that, some of the things that we were doing that they say were bad, they are doing it for them. One guy, I think the trip that Baka made 1 year time, we're going to make 5 year time. Trust me.
Thank you.
Every second he flies in private jet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take the next call. Caller number 7. Let's hear from you. And then I will try to, the 10 more calls in queue. We're not going to be able to take all the 10 calls in queue tonight. Sorry, guys. We already got to go. We close at 12 o'clock. It's already 12 a.m. my time. The last caller online. Caller, go ahead. Let's hear from you. Your name and where you calling from. Caller number 7. That's you. Go ahead. Your name and where you calling from, sir.
My name is Prince Cullen, calling from Maryland, Baltimore.
Welcome to the show. Let's hear from you, boss man.
Let me say thank you to you guys for having me on the line. And I've been listening to every one of you guys. You guys have been making great points, but I want to speak to Du.
What
Du failed to realize that.
Du's the man that matched the know.
What Du did to you tonight, my people?
I want to speak to Du.
Go ahead.
Du failed to realize that when it comes to Mr. Comey, CDC did not help Mr. Comey compared to Unity Party. And when it comes to Comey helped CDC more than Unity Party to go election. Comey was in the diaspora lobbying all around against CDC. We saw it. We knew who Boca was.
Wow.
Comey one of those that sponsored the Unity Party quickly against CDC. Comey lobbied in the diaspora quickly against CDC. CDC did not help Comey, but the Unity Party that helped Comey. So if Comey wants CDC support, he had to be very humble, not aggressive that we do. Do see by talking down to people and denigrating them can make them go your way. Look, we saw it with Mr. Thomas.
The fact that I'm sorry, the fact that my brother, the fact that you're the last caller online before I open in the next queue line, if Ben want to take more calls, let me ask you, the fact that you just said Cummings is dependent on
maybe the last call.
So let me ask you a question: is that a form of are you being condescending when you think that Cummings is also reliant on CDC? Right, you said Cummings depends on CDC to win an election. Will you also consider that being what did you say? That okay? Can you repeat?
No, I didn't say that.
What did you say?
I said Cummings helped CDC more than Unity Party to go election.
Oh, okay.
And
how?
Cummings want to take over the CDC. When Cummings want to take over the CDC, you have to be very much specific.
Okay.
Because we saw what happened to Winston Thomas.
Okay.
John Miller was on the second of Winston Thomas. Last decision stay away from that election.
Okay.
Last decision stay away from the election. So if Cummings really want to work along with the CDC, you don't have to be denigrating the way to is denigrating. Because people within the CDC have been helped by Cummings more than any related party. And they took out and got it against Cummings. So if Cummings want to work with them, he has to be very, very specific to make the guy to convince them that they want to gain the support.
Okay.
So do not have to be denigrating and really denigrating. And you look at what, you look at not look or not. So more best for putting George, we are saying 2005. You cannot take that thing away from all. One than me, I'm a physician from Liberia. I put that 2 different times of Georgia fighting in America. My entire family. So if Georgia is on the ballot, I can go or you can and move over Georgia. And Ben said, we all for the cities of Ben said, if Georgia not there, we're not going to the party. All citizens know if Georgia is not on the ballot, no citizen that hard Georgia people in some of us will go with the party. We'll go with Kumi.
Thank you.
We're telling them about Kumi. So if Kumi want to win us, he has to be very, very much persuasive to us, but not then they're going to do. So do got to turn around and change that we're talking about the division.
Thank you. All right, guys. Don't think we have any more callers on the line. And then, guys, let me just say this, before then you can come and take on the rest of the show before I leave. But let me just say this. The way I have the system set up, the callers don't hear you because I don't want back and forth between the callers and the panelists. So you can hear them, but they cannot hear you. So when they're speaking, I would put them in queue so that way they don't have to waste your time on here listening to everything else. It is not a form of us trying to hold you guys on there. So that's the reason why we just ask, listen to the callers when they call through, and then you can respond after they're no longer on the line. I still got 10 more calls. If I were to take all other 10 calls, you're not going to go to bed tonight. You got your family, you got to attend to, you got work to go to. I don't want to do that. So now I got to shut the phone off. And then my friend River will say I was being very selective. There you go. I got another caller from Liberia.
If I let the calls be so now.
Yeah, I know. I have to end it because the WhatsApp line on the computer is going, the WhatsApp line on my phone and everything. So, but anyway, I'll shut it off. You guys can take the show from here.
Yes, quickly, man. Look, I understand. I know the intend Dugan to be the guest tonight, and everybody quite attacking. But no, but I'll tell you the truth, right? On a serious note, if I was advising the ANC folks, I would right now. I wouldn't tell them to attack the CDC or attack WIA. I think they should just like one of the guys said, focus on building the party, making it stronger, and no one knows what the future holds. Because, and I would say this too, if we decide not to run, the ANC coming stands a chance, and most of the citizens will tell you. You heard the calls tonight. That what we've been saying for the last year or so. The ANC, the CDC folks will tell you that if we are not in the race, the second choice is coming. So you know what will happen in the next five years. Whether we will run, we will not run. We don't know yet. So if I were them, take it slowly and engage the CDC on a different front, and don't be combative with them. Don't attack WIA. Because look, you may not like Josh WIA, but I tell you the truth though, Josh WIA, he is a phenomenal person in different form and shape. Josh WIA, he was dancing with insecurities on New Year's Eve. People took it, it went viral. Right now, I saw the other day, that video got over almost 400,000 and hit already. And because it's Josh WIA, he danced with insecurity, people took it differently. He went to his friend's funeral, Mario. He caused a traffic jam there. Okay, you may not like him, but he's just the kind of person he is. He's loved by people. Some people love him. You can't change it. So if for the future, you need him, because he had election tomorrow. Today he will be in an election. He'll be in a runoff. Okay, and so if he decides not to run, then what happened? If George Weah tomorrow decides to say, well, I will endorse Cummings, I tell you the truth, without saying anything, that's a victory path for Cummings on a serious note. So I would advise them, look, take it easy. We know what happened in the background. So you guys take it easy and work and continue to take it slowly. Because if you attack, you start to alienate them, they turn against you, they will stay home or they'll find another way to just pour votes. So that I would say. So for me, that's what I can say right now.
Can I go my closing? All right. So,
go ahead, dude.
Call finish, right?
Yeah. For some reason, it seems like CDCians have this personal affair. But let me remind you, before the election, I was on this very same show, and I was saying things about the Unity Party. It was the same CDC people that were in this conversation. They were calling on the phones, and they were supportive of my, attacks against the Unity Party. Interestingly, because I'm not dancing to the beats of the CDC, and then suddenly, I'm a problem, which I really don't care, by the way. And let me just say this. I did not come here representing the ANC. I've said this. I've moved in an independent space. I wish the ANC well with its political agenda. I prefer being me and focusing on what I want to speak about. So you don't have to blame my thoughts or align it with the ANC. If you're looking for something better to do with, go ahead and deal with people who represent the ANC. I'm not. But I think tonight we continue to see why George Weah failed as president, and George Weah is now failing in the opposition. Whether you like it or not, it's the truth. This is the worst opposition we've seen in the history of Liberian politics. And if people want to be honest, they'll be truthful. The last time I remember when we had an opposition, it was swift opposition. I put a lot of pressure on the George Weah. Why do you think that opposition base was effective? Because it had a combination of different people and they tapped into different things. But CDCians are stubborn. Or I wouldn't say CDCian because, you know, CDC as a party got good people. But these are some of the Weahians, the cultists, the loyalists, the blind ones who refuses to listen. They think that Weah is a god that they have in their rooms. And everybody's supposed to bow down and worship. I don't worship any golden idol. Let me just say this here. And you know what? If you want to blame me, that's your business. But as long as Liberian politics continue to exist, I will be a powerhouse and a vocal person. And I will attack Weah when it's necessary. And I'll also speak the truth when it's necessary. So you're not going to deter me. But let me just remind you about the hypocrisy. Today, you want to say everything that's wrong with the current government, which we agree. We're not denying the fact. But some of you were the same people were telling us today that 24 years we will win. When we said that the government, there were mishaps, you sat down here and you supported those bad behaviors. You never saw anything wrong. You never listened to our criticism, whether it came from a good place. You came here, you told people that Ben Savvy, they stole $40,000 from government. When Ben came here and talked against George Weah, you insulted him. Anybody who said things about George Weah, you took it personal. Look, I don't need Liberian politics. I'm not one of those people who come on this talk show because I'm trying to find a way to get a leg up. Liberia cannot afford me. And I will say this, and I'm not willing to make that sacrifice. We do this because our conviction, we truly care about the country, and our style of politics may not identify with those that you have empathy for, but we see things differently, and I will stand on the foundations of my truth. Yes, the problem is not only about Weah. Yes, there are things that's happening under this current government that should not be happening. I agree. But you all are a bunch of hypocrites. Weah did this. You executed people in our country. And today, the thing here, Ben, let's be honest here for the sake of our country. These people still are in denial. Everything that happened, when you say here the government made a blunder, George Weah government made a blunder, they're still saying today that other people were responsible for critiquing the government and tearing the government apart. So, you know, Ben, let me say, I'm not here to identify with none of y'all. I don't care who you want to vote for, that's your business. It does not impact me. If you want to continue to live miserable, it is up to you. But if you think I'm going to change my tune or fit into your narrative, you got it all messed up because I don't need job from nobody. But we speak the truth. And the truth here is finally, if those of you who are reactions, I'm not talking about true CDCians, because CDCians focus on the logo of the party, the foundation, the message to the downtrodden. Not those ones who are idol worshippers and think Weah is some kind of god that they need to bow down to. For those ones who believe in the party and think that the CDC needs to stay relevant, listen to me and listen to me well. George Weah, as the face of the CDC, on any ballot will not win an election. You can put P.T. Pablo, the chess player, against George Weah, they will defeat him. Because George Weah's message no longer appeals. Now, I will say this. If you want something formidable, if you want to get over the hump, if you want somebody who can rebrand and find this collaboration that would be exciting, and even look at people who support the boycott and may not really enjoy what's happening, but want to change, and you want somebody to speak to those people, you have to look at Amelia Cummings. Whether you accept it, you don't accept it, it's up to you. That's your business. But I just want to say we're going to stick tough. We're going to have these conversations. I'm glad I was on here tonight. I had no regrets. Go blame somebody else. I don't speak for the ANC. I'm not here to represent the ANC. I'm independent in my thoughts, and I will continue to say that if Unity Party is bad today, CDC was worse yesterday. You cannot admit it. That's your business. Whatever the Liberian people decide, let them continue to be there. But we'll continue to speak our truth, and that's why I stand on.
Duke, thank you so much, Duke. Thank you for your contribution. This is the Late Night Fire. You are always welcome. This is our show, Duke. We come here. let you know, moving forward, the boys on the closing argument during the day will start relegating them
No. They will keep the day show, and they will just start going.
They can skip that.
Let them bring the right. Let me bring Russell back. Go
yeah, but thank you for your contributions, my brother. Listen, this is for the country. People, everybody's not going to agree. People are going to have disagreements, but your opinions and your thoughts are respected. Because at the end of the day, we know you love your country. So I think we'll go to Winfred, and then we'll go to Emery.
Yeah, Robert is still here.
Oh, Robert. Yeah. Thanks, guys. I think this was a great show, great conversation. Always a pleasure to be here among great men with very wise political analysis that happened here on this show. So it's always wonderful. So thanks again. Thanks Tommy and the rest of the guys. Thanks for having me on today. I thought it was a really great conversation. Again, I mean, we all come here and we share our views, and some folks may like it or may find it helpful. Others might take exception to some of what we have to say. It comes with the territory, and we don't come here and try to put people down and try to respect everyone's views, just as we expect you to respect our views. I mean, as I think Ben laid it out. He said it earlier. We're just talking hypothetically, even though we're giving our political views and analysis based on current trend and based on experiences we've had, in the past, and our connection with the people on the ground, and and being there talking to people regularly. And so we, based on all of those different variables, we're coming in with our analysis. So this is not to be taken literally, that we know for a fact this is what's going to happen. So I just hope that the audience out there, they should cut us some slack. We're not here to say that we know it all and that everything that we say is gospel. We don't expect you to accept everything that we say to be a gospel. But we appreciate you staying up this late and listening to us, hearing what we have to say, hearing our thoughts. But the conversation has been going as part of what we've been saying. I mean, again, I think that what we're seeing unfolding in the country, there are a number of folks who they say that they expected this. I would tell you, I didn't expect it.
I know. Yeah, we used to talk. Yeah, I know.
I didn't expect it.
And I used to tell you though. So I bet that I used to tell you.
You did.
I told you. I said you got your hopes too high, my brother. I know.
But we live and we learn. We live and we learn. But so that. If there's not some sort of aggressive movement in the next year and a couple of years after that, things are going to be politically, things are going to be drastically different. And I think Unity Party, can just kiss the president and say goodbye. They have to come around and do something, drastically different, because especially many of us were here, many of us even were not on these platforms. We were writing, and Mar was writing on Facebook and stuff, and talking about the excesses of the Weah administration, the corruption, the incompetency, and all this other stuff we talked about, the private jets, and all the things that we talked about. To come and see these things happening,
and it's been normalized,
getting almost tenfold. It's troubling and it's hurtful. But in any case, I'll stop here and just say thanks to you all once again, and thanks to the listeners and the
Winifred,
viewers.
just 30 seconds before you leave. Winifred, 30 seconds. Mr. Winifred, Winifred, Billy D. What's your? I know you had you went through election that I was confident you were going to win.
Who is Winifred? Who is Winifred?
No. The man's right.
Billy D.
Billy D. The man was saying Billy D.
The man said Billy D.
Who is Winifred?
No, I'm mistaken it call his. Yeah, well, it's Billy D.
I
was about Daniel for him. But Billy D.
I gotta go back and watch it. I gotta go back and watch this show.
Yeah, watch it. So, what's your plans? I mean, I know you're very passionate about Liberia. I know you're someone who even though you criticize the other government, but yet and still you are still supporting them. So you're supporting we are government, different kind of form of shit with the former mayor, the other stuff. But what your plan since you were unsuccessful in the last election for the state representative? What are your plans now in the next 30 seconds, just quickly?
Well, we have 2 years to go to the next election cycle. What we're doing, we're building a political movement, a PAC, a political action committee right now we're working on, because there will be, in the next 2 years, there will be about 12 seats coming open in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center in this part. So we are trying to build a movement, build a committee. In fact, matter of fact, we're having a meeting tomorrow. The group is having a meeting tomorrow, and so it's not just about me, but a whole bunch of other folks coming around and participating in different elections, council level, state rep, and all of that. So we'll see what will happen at Tomalin in the next 2 years. But for now, I'm trying to do everything possible to support work in Liberia with the police and a good cause. I'm there for it and try to support it. So I know, I mean, we talk a little bit about that. There were some concerns there, but we will address that. I'm not a paid, just full disclosure. I'm not a paid consultant of the police. I don't work for the police. I don't do anything with the police.
You lately sharing videos of is that LMTI thing? Is it I've always thought it was, the idea and the concept I thought was good. I just didn't know how they were going to navigate with all the politics. I know they had issues with transport saying that they wanted to take their responsibility. Have they been able to settle all of that? And so they're in full gear.
Yeah, this is part of what I'm told that there's still some hiccups there. Okay. With respect to the Ministry of Transport, and I think if you saw one of the posts I made today, I talked about what the Ministry of Transport is responsible for, putting up road signs, and marking and the different public safety infrastructure and all of that. That's not the work of the police, and so just trying to get the Salif Tyler and the minister there at transport, for all of them to come together, because it's going to be a great team, Ben. Mm-hmm. You asked my role. I'm just helping to promote it, because I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I've always thought,
it's a good thing, and they have some great Liberians who worked in Charlotte Police Department, Atlanta Police Department, from Minnesota, from all over there. In fact, our former police chief, Minneapolis former police chief, not mine, Brooklyn Park, but Minneapolis former police chief, the guy who was police chief when when George Floyd was murdered. He's there working very closely with the Liberia National Police. So I mean, I work with a number of these folks. So it's just been a passion of mine. You know, I mean, it's a good cause. I mean, I know, you know, I don't have any background in law enforcement, but because I serve on the council, you know, the police chief who is there now, you know, I hired him. I was one of those who supported his hiring. So we try to do, you know, a lot to support law enforcement there on the ground, just like I've done here. The fire chief, if you all remember, he came on the show and spoke to you all, both Chief Butler and Chief Parliament, and I called on the government, and those they were willing, because I spoke to them. They were willing to go on the ground to provide an independent, you know, transparent investigation of what happened there at the Capitol. But I'm not sure if the government took them up on that. But I spoke to them, and they were willing and available to go on the ground.
I wonder why.
To provide their service. You know, you know,
let's use that for another day, bro.
You know, but anyway, so that's it. So for now, Tomlin, I just waiting for 2 years as we're building this this group for folks to participate. But in the meantime, I just support the search.
30 seconds though. So did the government ever do any work with these guys? Any work for that matter with these guys, the fire chiefs?
Oh, they've done a lot of work with them. Boycott knows, Boycott knows them personally. I mean, and he invited them the last time for the inauguration. So they were there. So they've worked with him over the years. But now, as far as this Capitol building, the Capitol building, a fire, disaster. I do know they were in touch with them. But I don't think they went, to Liberia. But I do know that the government was in touch with them, and they were willing to lend the expertise and the service. The John Butler guy, who was the fire chief in Fairfax County, Virginia, in the DMV there, he's a Liberian immigrant, and the other guy is fire chief in Texas. So but both of them knows the president very well, and they've worked together with him. I mean, they know me too very well, and they've provided a lot of services there, taking fire truck, fire equipment, and all of that. Now, I know they made themselves available and said, they were going to go on the ground and help with the investigation. I'm not sure why they were not taken up on that offer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, guys. Well,
night. Guys. I think we can call it a night. Except anybody else. I don't know.
Emmerich didn't even.
Let Emmerich do it.
Another day. Robert.
Emmerich, you muted.
Let's call on.
It's the call center here said Emmerich using tonight.
Yeah, let's call it on night. I like this because it kind of like shut you off, not to pay attention to you, Lofa. Yeah, seriously. So yeah, let's call it all night. All right. Good night, Winfrey.
Nice meeting you, brother. Tomlin and Lofa and Ben, if you all want to do something with the fire chiefs, or want to know more about the LTM,
especially with the news about them saying that it was arson. I want to know.
The reason why they invited guys because they know that the guys were exposed then. So I'm
really interested in that.
But Wilfred, one question. Is this something just something quick? Is this something that the fire department will have to have the press conference or the police department? Which one?
911.
Well, my experience and the way it is done here, my experience would be that it will be a joint press conference, but it will be led by the fire chief.
By the fire. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, that's
what it will be led by the fire chief. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Because in this one, I saw the fire chief sitting there, pretty much.
Right, and it was the IG who was actually.
No, but the fire chief went over there when he happy. He went with an African suit, so we don't know.
I'm disappointed with
What a mess we gotta do.
It has a lot to do with.
Oh, you are going in full gear.
Yeah, you know, you can't go and be.
So, but Wilfred, let me ask you. So you saying that, man? So have the government also? Okay, I know you say they did reach out to them for the Capitol building thing, but have the government been able to reach out to them for any partnerships since they took over? Because I know there was this anticipation and you know an opportunity, hope that with the Boakai coming into power, with him knowing them, there will have been. I know there was some disappointment when they appointed the fire people, right? I know that because in fact, I think it was said publicly. But have there been any traction towards maybe recalibrating or rekindling that relationship to provide some capacity support for the fire department?
No, not that I know of. I mean, they were pretty disappointed because all of the recommendations that they made, those recommendations were not taken. I mean, those guys were on ground during the inauguration. But last year around this time, if you all remember, we all were there.
Yes.
Yeah, we all were there.
They came on the show before they went.
Exactly.
Yeah, in fact, the reason they came on the show was to say that they were going.
Yeah.
So Wilfred, let me. People will carry serious business. They say no, people there they can't spoil. Look, people not ready. But right, and since they took over, everyday fire.
But yeah, I mean, it's a major issue.
You know what? Let her arrange for him to come on the show.
Yeah, okay.
All this fire.
But you see why the argument of getting someone from outside of the system, right? The whole existing internal politics where you get someone from within, it will not work. Trust me. And now we see. Now we see President Boakai, who said Cummings was a stranger, right? Now he's going for somebody who is a total stranger. So he knows that the truth, they cannot do the job.
I support a president appointment.
No, I agree with that. I agree, but that's our argument. So he's now supporting our argument that to change Liberia.
I
supported the appointment of that lady.
Yeah, I support it because
I think that's smart.
That's smart. That's brilliant.
Support the lady, right?
I support
her resources. That lady was so quick.
That's what I was going to say.
It will be detrimental for Boakai. They won't say, look, people not serious.
Before we jump there, I know just to conclude on the whole fire situation. I think I did a post about what I'm about to say. I'm not sure if you all saw that, but I spoke with actually one of them did call me, and we did talk, and I spoke to another fire, one of the other fire chiefs. And one of the things that he said, right, they debunked. I mean, there was an interview that was conducted, I think, in one of the newspapers, maybe Front Page or so, where the fire chief apparently said that he could tell from the color of the smoke or something, you know, whether it was arson or whether it was electrical or whether it was this or whatever. But those guys debunked that. They say it's not possible, you know, to tell just from the color of the flame or the color of the smoke or whatever.
It was the IG who made that statement, and I have a snippet of it, right? When he said from the color, the color of the smoke, or from some of the spots where the fire started. Yes, he did.
Yeah, that was bogus.
He made that statement on the live interview yesterday.
Who said it, Lufa?
The Inspector General, the Gregory Coleman.
I've read disappointed Gregory.
Don't be disappointed.
No, but I think this is what's happening, right?
My only advice to.
Yeah, I just got information today that he right now this guy he living in the States too. He went to the FBI during Ellington. He's deputy for almost like for CID. All right, they are loggerheads now. he practically doing his guy's job, and you can't do that. I seen it happen. I seen the AB then did with the Fadiga brother. They were trying to do the Fadiga brother's job, and how the problem started from, because when you the boss somewhere, you sort of meet in the office, you be running after the other stuff to support logistics and support resources for the institution, but instead, anyone who's operational man in any institution, that's the man that runs the place.
But I think with the
police, you want to do that job because you know that job that play all the attention, so you want to do that job. You want to micromanage the person. It's a problem. That what happened with AB and Fadiga. That what happened with Gregory and Simeon Frank now at the police. Simeon Frank now, I hear that he's marginalized. The man should be doing investigation, but Gregory is on top of everything. Every investigation he's running there.
Gregory said that from the
but I think to be honest with you, let me just say this, right? I hate to come across to be condescending. I never for one point believed that Gregory Coleman could get this job done. Okay.
I mean, he was a pretty effective police director on the LA.
Yeah, but he was apolitical. He was apolitical at the time, though.
But that's my point.
Besides, the reason why
people had a lot of hope.
Yeah,
besides,
he was apolitical.
Ben, when people speak of leadership, we often say it starts from the top. You remember you said on this very platform, the fish rats from the head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Had it been a leader who is indeed about true leadership and understanding, Gregory Coleman would have fallen in line with the actual process. In this case, President Boycott is much more of a hands-off, let the chips fall in place. Gregory Coleman is not the kind of person. He much more of that kind of person. Like, he needs somebody who is going to be on top of him. Madame Saliv was not going to allow her reputation to be spoiled based on some guy who just simply want to stand in that position. And that's why he had to do what he needed to do with the supervision of others who were in charge.
Yeah, I think with the chip on his shoulders from what CDC did, to me, I would not have put him in that position because he's more subjective right now than being
the police the police are doing some great things, some good things. I think Gregory Coleman, there are a lot of I know he brought in some top-notch guys. They were working. They may not be. They're not been the guys. They're talking heads on the different media platforms and stuff like that. But they're behind the scene. I know he has a whole team. And Ben referenced this. Maybe we can think about a show or bringing some of these guys on. But there's LTM that's going to be rolled out.
What is LTM?
The Liberia Traffic Management System.
Mm-hmm.
So they have, but I posted some videos and stuff, Tomalin, where they have police cars who are going to do real life patrols. They're writing tickets now. They started writing tickets.
That will see the guys there. Bring that. Let it come forward. Let it come.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah. So I mean because they where when the rubber meets the road, Ben, the whole issue now we don't know what's gonna. Well, I don't know what's gonna happen. So I mean, contact my sources there on the ground, and they share stuff with me, and I share with you all, and publicly and all of that. But and there are a lot of people who are interested in it, obviously because of road safety, the highway. They get now highway patrol, the road patrol. I mean, they're going to be all over motorcycle patrol, bicycle patrol. They were doing all that sort of stuff. I mean, and there are about 200 officers now being trained to do not checkpoint, stops, but real traffic stops like we do here, and they're all U.S. trained police guys who are there working with them. So Gregory they're doing all of that. But where is what we're waiting for, what I'm waiting for to see, Ben, is because there were grumblings within the Ministry of Transport.
Yeah, I told you, but I said,
yeah.
Let's not forget this thing came during Weah time.
Yeah,
this thing came the first 2 months of George Weah presidency. I remember George Weah visited the the location.
The SKD, yeah.
He told that he saw he and McGill. They saw all the vehicles. I mean, it was a big news. In fact, if you go on the Executive Mansion Facebook page, go all the way back and find the history there. The same thing that killed it. Saying Udu didn't have issue with it. They say, oh, the people will be taking their job. The people will be taking their
yeah, but I mean, but
yeah. But I think this brings us back to my point, though. That this whole issue about Gregory Coleman is trying. I don't buy into this whole Liberian trying.
But let me ask you, what Gregory is not doing that you don't like? Apart from
no. What I'm saying, Lofa, no. Lofa, wait, hold on a second. So what I'm saying is that what I guess Ben and I we're saying here is that okay. So Gregory brought this team in, trainers, training these folks. You know, I posted some of the videos there. You got about 200 or so of them. They're going to expand. So that stuff is going on. You have police patrol cars with the siren. We're all just like you have here with the bicycle. Just hold on a second. Let me finish that real quick. So all of that stuff is fine and dandy. All of that stuff highly professional, very professional. But part of what Ben is saying, that I'm telling you that you all have to, we all have to watch out for, is about, because it's not about the police, it's not about Gregory, it's not about the Ministry of Transport and the folks at Transport. They don't want to play ball. They're thinking that, okay, these folks are coming and quote unquote taking away their chopping kind of thing, so to speak. So that's where the issue is. So Gregory and them are just trying to enforce the traffic laws, and if people if they were written up put tickets and all of that, they will not go to the Ministry of Transport to pay those tickets. They'll go to LRA to pay the tickets. If you have a broken car on the highway, on the Robert Street Highway, and Lofa, the disaster that has been, a lot of people have gotten killed running into cars and all of that. They have tow trucks. They have police tow trucks now that will be picking up those cars, and taking it to.
It's a whole setup.
I mean, it's like so now, but it is not going to be successful if a transport is not is not going along with it. If Ministry of Public Works, so all of these folks have to be working in collaboration for it to be successful. That's what I'm saying. So it's not Gregory.
So everything you just said,
that's good for
everything you just said. Literally just support my point that there is nothing at all that we can sit here and celebrate based on Gregory's performance, considering what is used to make that determination when it comes to performance, especially when we speak of safety, community safety, traffic safety, and all of these things. It's not based on the amount of police vehicles that are in the streets. The results that are provided. So everything we're talking about here, Ben spoke to the fact that it started during George Weah time. It died until Liberians start to feel safe to walk at night and don't have to worry or feel like.
No, okay. So Lofa, hold up there. Hold on a second. What Ben is saying. Ben is saying that those cars, the vehicles, and all of those things were brought during George Weah time. It was never launched. No. So now it's being launched.
Right. But Winfred, there was a reason why it was not launched, because those who may have been in position to really effectuate what needed to be done, they just probably politicized the entire process or felt for self-interest. They needed not to do it.
Yeah, that's true. But it's not this. It's not what's happening now. So Gregory is trying to go around there.
I like the question that Teola is asking. Now, if their tickets, if your ticket, so what's it? Like in America, we all know. You pay, the police can break your car and catch your car, and they find your car, and you can get suspended license, everything. So how would they implement these things and to get the result? Because if we start to feed the result, the desired results, then we know that then they say the person is working. You know.
Okay, so let me just put another disclaimer there. I'm not a spokesperson for the Liberia National Police. I'm you know what we, you know, to use the sports term here in America, what they call like a booster, you know. Right. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm sort of like, so I'm sort of like a booster for the police. I'm like a fan of the police and what they're doing and all that sort of stuff. But I don't work for them. So but to answer that question, Tommy, what they're going to do, yes, we have an antiquated system. We don't have a system as digitized and sophisticated as we have here in the US. So like today, I mean, they're already writing tickets now, but they have not formally launched the program. So if you were caught, you know, violating any sort of traffic laws there, whether you're speeding, whether you park wrongly, or whatever the situation is, they'll give you a ticket. They take your license, and you have 72 hours to go to LRA, and there may be some other places, but at least I know one of the places is LRA. You have to go to LRA, pay for that ticket, and then get your license back. Now, before, people used to try to circumvent the process and then go and then get another license, you know, but they have not closed up all those loopholes. You will not be able to do that. Now, if you don't get your pay for the ticket within 72 hours and don't get your license back, you know, and if they were to pull you over again, they will impound the car.
Like today, I saw a video. I saw a video today, right, where the police trying to arrest the person car. He's lied on the car. Who? That's what they do now.
No, that was that thing that Sam Jackson posted. That's not the current reality. That's not the current reality. That's old. That's old video. That's old stuff. Old picture.
I said,
No.
Yeah.
No. So they're going to try to. They're stopping all of that. So the new, you know, you saw the. I think was it you, Ben, or who saw the video I posted today? I mean, those guys are there. There were real training going on, and
go check it out. But Ben, before I leave the show, man, is it true that the police trying to arrest Kofi tomorrow?
No, who arrested Kofi? I don't know.
I saw it floating on social media.
I don't know.
Say arrest will take place tomorrow.
But Kofi don't like Liberia.
I don't think like but they want to arrest on the other people there.
I don't know. Maybe my man. Look, at this point, I don't care. Look, I don't know whether the men anybody they won't do anything. They can do it. But this time when I wake up, when I check my phone, I can just check to see what happened. Because
I do, right?
I check my thing. Nothing happened. My family correct.
There's something new in that country, man.
I check what in my account.
I'm telling you, the most traumatic moment for me was when I woke up that morning and put my phone on
and saw the fire.
Saw that dome. That fire.
Yeah, I know it was.
I was like, what? I thought I was
like, what?
My heart started beating. I was like, this is something. Is this real? And
I mean, because that stuff was like spectacular. I mean, the stuff I like, whoa. I was like, what?
No.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, so you know, we can come and talk about the LTM.
Yeah, let's get them. Also, let's get the fire chief.
Okay. All right.
I'm interested in the fire chief's conversation because I want to know. There's a lot of fire going on in Liberia.
Yeah, too many fires, man. Too many fires.
Everybody scared. They say, "Boy, in that club another day, fire catch." No, for me, thank God, I don't go to the clubs then where in Liberia. No, I go there chill.
Yeah, because they have no exit plan, no exit route, no emergency, no emergency exit.
When they 200 person can't play, but they kill. They will put.
Yeah.
No ordinance, nothing.
Yeah.
But anyway.
All right, we'll work on that. Tomlin, Ben. So I will contact these folks and then they find out when will be a good time. You guys want to have them on.
And also, keep on doing the what you do for the country. I mean, keep on doing the good you do for Liberia. You're doing it all because
keep doing your own, brother.
Trust me.
What to do, brother?
Keep doing your own. Keep moving the needle. They play.
Work with the early administration.
I do.
Work with everybody. Keep on doing it.
Okay, buddy. Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you.
All right.